You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Yeah, times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn the part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Hello, everyone! Happy Sunday! And happy EMBERMAS! May you all be blessed by Nil's great divine... I didn't actually come up with a line for that. Thank you all so much for joining me on my birthday! But it's not just my birthday. It's also Marsha P. Johnson's birthday. Now, many of you may or may not be aware of who Marsha P. Johnson is, and I probably should have pulled up a picture first. I'm bad at my job. I'm a terrible journalist. She and Sylvia Rivera ran the STAR organization in New York City, took part in the Stonewall riot, and generally fought like hell for LGBT rights since the 60s. Marsha passed away several years ago. There's questionable circumstances around it, but she's one of my favorite humans because she fought for what mattered. She told people pay it no mind for the things that didn't. And she always, whenever she could, had flowers in her hair. And that's why I have flowers on so many of my hats. Coincidentally, this I only got with birthday stuff. Some people have sent me some things, and I'd like to unbox them, I suppose. They're all in the same box, but this is one of the things. But first, hello, all you wonderful people. Let's see if I can get my thing to play nice today. I need to switch screens. I need to go over here. And then, where's my thing? Where's my thing? I can't find my thing. I don't know. It's hiding. I can't highlight comments right at this second, but I can read them. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. James Miller says happy birthday. Patty's here. Happy birthday. A lot of these are going to say happy birthday. I don't want to be super repetitive. My Unfinished Studio. Spooky bed hair. Doing the ghosty thing. I love it. Cosmic Kyle. Unlucky Legume. Look at the Trees, Top Tester, Brainless Steel, and Miranda. Hello. I'm so glad y'all are here. Oh, Brainless says I'm a cutie. Thank you. I've had this purple hair since like last Halloween, and I only found it the other day when I've been cleaning my room, clearing some space and things. Actually, it was this box that caused that cascade of events, because this box came in. I had literally nowhere to put it. So I was like, all right, I have to get rid of some shit and reorganize other things. And I've just been slowly working my way through my room. And when I got over to my photo corner over here, I found this wig just chilling out there because I hadn't used it since the Halloween show with Brie. And I'm like, purple hair. Fuck yes. So yeah, absolutely. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you. My brain is all kinds of chaotic. But I will say, first and foremost, at some point I'm going to open a room. I really don't want to put a link in chat because there's so many trolls and people who cause unfortunate things floating around. But if you would like to join me, contact me in one of the ways that is available, and then let me know in chat which way you've used so that I can find it, and I will send you a link. So, yay! Mage is here saying it's your birthday as well. I will sing for you on my show as well. Yay! More birthday songs. Dave over at Captive Desk played me a birthday song yesterday on his show, and he made me fucking cry, and it was so sweet. I just, oh my goodness. I'm still trying to, like, figure out how to deal with, like, positive reinforcement from people, because it's not a thing that I'm actually used to. Say la vie. But we're working on it. So, all right. Bit of stuff. I love it, but also it's like so springy, it just closes itself back up. So you have to actively hold it open. But whenever somebody's being a douche canoe, shall we say, it's fun to get this one out and just kind of wave them on. So I'm amused. I enjoy it. Also, y'all may have already seen these, but these came as well. Actually, this kind of works with the headband. I mean, I don't want to wear them right now because I actually put some time into doing eyeshadow today, and I know it doesn't show up super well on camera, but I know it's there. Majestic P. Beck, hello! Happy birthday! Yay! Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's do things. Because while I did start the show early so we'd have extra time today, we don't have infinite time. At the end of this show, as per usual, we'll head on over to Bad Science Sunday over at Maya's. But because I'm doing this stream and then I'll be on that stream, there'll be a gap because I need a few minutes between shows. So we aren't going all the way to 9:30 like we often do. So, oh my goodness, Miranda sent a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. And says, happy birthday, you beautiful bright flame. We love you. I'm speechless. Thank you. I don't know how to properly respond to that. Thank you. Okay, let's do presents. I don't know how else to deal. Like, I have no idea. I very, very much appreciate it. All right, I think I may have shown this one off as like a super chat bonus goal earlier in the month. It's I should take these off. It's a lovely hat, but it's a child's hat. It doesn't even come close to fitting. And I can't even stretch it out because it's this the almost paper thin plastic. So, I mean, shrug. But I mean, it was there. I do love hats. But say la vie. Also, baggie. There's actually a couple baggies like this. It's one of these ones where you can draw the strings and then wear it as a backpack. I don't have enough room behind me to properly model it, but you zip it up and then do it, like do your thing with the things. I don't know. I'm doing my best here. But there's this one. There's another one that's just the original flavored rainbow part of the flag. Obviously, I like this version better. It's more inclusive. Actually, also, this flag came because previously I had this flag on my microphone, but I like this one better because it's more inclusive. It has been upgraded. So, hooray! I'm always a fan of, more inclusivity, more welcomingness, more openness, more wonderfulness. Let's see what else have we got here. There's a lot of things. I may not go through every single thing. We'll see. We'll see how exciting I find it. Earrings. Little, it's not focusing super well, but they're little bitty kitties. I do enjoy kitties. Unfortunately, my ears are still screwed up, and I can only wear surgical steel, so I can't wear these right now. But hopefully my ears get better, and then I can go back to fabulous fancy earrings to go with my fabulous fancy hats. But I do enjoy the kitties. Lavender soap. Oh, what a delightful smell. I don't know if you can see the patterns on them. It might show up, it might not, but they're very pretty. They say La Florentina. From Casa Fondata Nel, 1894. I don't think they're 1894 vintage. I don't know soap lasts that long, but they smell very nice. All right, now I can actually open the box. Oh, here's the other bag. This one, it's a little more sturdy, but it's just the basic rainbow colors. It's neat, and it might be useful for more heavy stuff that might punch through the other. I don't know. I'm speculating. Tori's here. Hello. Thank you. Left-handed Jedi. Hello. Thank you. Yay. Oh, and Left-handed Jedi sending $20. Thank you so much, Jedi. I'm still on the wrong screen to highlight chats, but Jedi says, happy birthday, best wishes for your special day. Thank you. Y'all are just being so wonderful. I mean, you're always wonderful, but like, the extra. I mean, I'm flustered because I don't know how to respond when that happens. But I appreciate it very much. Let's see, what else? Got a bag of... Oh! It's a shit ton of pins! There's like all kinds of... There's so many... Most of these have like organizations on them. Like this one, for example, says Eastern PA Trans Equality Project. So yeah, it's somebody raided a Pride Festival and just collected every single button. And I may put them on something at some point. I mean, some of them are kind of generic, like they just say love. And that's cool. But yeah, there's a few interesting designs. Like the my lighting is being rude. But yeah, good stuff. This is a shit ton of reddish fingernail polish, which is cool. I've been using gels for a while now because you put them under the UV thing and they cure, and they're much harder than traditional nail polish, I guess. Like they don't chip, they don't flake. Sometimes they do peel off, but they tend to do it in like one piece. So I don't know if and or when I might get around to playing with these, but some of them are pretty sparkly. I don't know how well it shows up. I need a better camera, folks. I honestly can't complain. This camera is like 15 years old, and it's still better than many of the cameras that many streamers today use. It's from my original YouTube channel, which was a gaming stream. It was trippy. This is like a pill case kind of thing, but it's only got 2 openings. So I don't know, morning and evening pills, perhaps? I wonder if the person who sent it is suggesting that I'm getting old. Bath bombs, also lavender flavor. I don't know when I'll use those, because while technically we do have a bathtub at the house here, a human doesn't fit in it. I mean, maybe if I did, like, my lower leg, and then my other lower leg. It's weird that in this country where we build stuff so freaking big for no reason, our bathroom equipment is so tiny. I don't know why we do that. It's very strange. This may look like a bird feeder, but it's actually a tea bag dispenser. I can't get them to come out, but you know, you can refill it with more tea, which is also pretty neat. I mean, I'm mostly a coffee person, but I love tea when I'm in. I like tea all the time. I would just rather drink coffee most of the time, but sometimes I'm like, I want some tea, and now I have a tea thing. Dispenser, I guess. I don't know. Oh, these I definitely did show. These are the periodic table of elements playing cards, which I thought were just so nifty because they have the elements in order. And they're the different colors, and it lists their properties, you know, solid, liquid, gas, plasma, what they're often used for, their molecular weight, their melting temperature, their vaporization temperature. It's wild. Incidentally, hydrogen melts at negative 259 C. That's just a few degrees Kelvin, 13 or 14-ish. And so it melts at negative 259 and boils at negative 252. It's a 6-degree difference between vapor and solid, and I don't know, it seems strange to me. Oh, what's happening? Things are making noises. Anyway, I digress. There's other things. I'm probably only going to do a couple more because I don't want to like make the whole stream this. What the hell is this? It is a tarot card scented bath bomb. Oh, because it's like got the tarot moon dude on it.
Power on. The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Thanks, speaker. I don't know if y'all heard that, but my speaker just turned itself on, even though it wasn't turned off. But details.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Thank you, speaker. Rainbow tape, I guess? You may be detecting a theme. It seems that people send me stuff that isn't necessarily so much Ember specific, but like broadly queer flavored, which is fine. Like, I do stan all the queer stuff, but it feels a little impersonal. It'd be like, you know, having a black friend and sending them like a whole bunch of Africa flags and not much else. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But hey, there's beads. and more bracelets. Let's see. We've got trans colors, and we've got, it looks like the Progress Pride flag colors, but all kind of put together. Ah, that's too tight. And yeah, that one's too tight too. Okay. That's enough of that. All the silly little thingies. Mark is here. Hello, Mark. Always good to see you. Mark and I did a fantastic fun show, our debate review show last night. That's up now, of course, if you want to check that out later, but not right after the show later, because we're all going to go over to Bad Sign Sunday. Dr. Tapioca Weasel is apparently returning, although I think he was on last week. Also, it's not important. I wish I'd brought magnets, though, but such predicaments we will forge ahead. It will be fine. It will be wonderful. It will be glorious. Okay, if anybody said where they bugged me to get a link to come join, I may have missed it. Karen Butcher, hello. I'm still on the wrong screen to highlight comments. I don't know why I keep doing this. Ryan says maybe you can just soak your feet. That's an idea. Bath bomb the feet kind of thing. Oh my. Majestic Beck says coffee in the morning, tea for the day. I mean, I kind of do coffee all day long, but I also have a tendency to never sleep. And that reminds me, if you haven't caught the new morning show that I'm doing with Ryan and Maya, I'm getting a warning that my OBS studio has disconnected. So I don't know if you can hear me right now. What are we doing? What are we doing? If you can hear me, do let me know while I'm double checking. Okay, it says it's reconnected now. Hopefully we're fine. Technology! Okay, people are saying you were back. I guess I disappeared briefly, maybe. I don't know. Ay. I think I'm just gonna run. Now my audio's being weird again. It's always something, folks. Okay, let's turn down the microphone. It's getting all excitable and things. It's just so happy to be here today, you know? Okay, let's see. Oh, Nara's here. Hello, Nara. Nara says, I don't often comment on people's looks because why would I, right? But I haven't tuned in for some time now, and I gotta say you're looking fantastic, Ember. So much progress. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a bit, Nara. I know you've been about, but like, it's been a little while. Yeah. Nara says, because Mark asked, I took a break, trying to get back into the swing of things. Yeah, that's fair. Breaks are probably good for your mental health. I mean, they certainly are for, sometimes you just gotta, you know? You don't have a lot of choice. And other times it's just de-stressing. I try to think of what I do here as, while I do put work in, I do take it seriously, I also try to think of it as like a break from outside life. So it's easier to look forward to, is what I'm getting at. But maybe, you know, maybe I'm silly. I'm probably silly. Probably. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Right, I was gonna tell you all about the morning show I've been doing with the ladies. I just mentioned the names. Speaking of breaks, Chris from the Daily Atheist Morning Show took a break. He needed a week off, so he'll be back on Wednesday. But that means Monday and Tuesday, we ladies can do our morning show in his time slot. We don't have a specific channel. It's mostly we're just co-streaming on whichever of our channels the people involved want to do. Here, of course, but also Maya's and Ryan's and Patty's and AJ, and yeah. We're working on details for the future, but do tune in tomorrow morning. We've got a lot to discuss and fun. Well, it'll be fun, but also serious, but also fun. So yeah, tune in and we'll discuss some things and see about what we're going to do moving forward once Chris comes back, because it seems a lot of y'all really enjoy that show. So maybe we'll keep it around. We will see. Kelly is here. Hello, Kelly. That's, of course, Kelly, Queen of Detroit, not to be confused with one of the many, many Kellys we know from elsewhere. Kelly says, happy birthday. Thank you. Yee. All right, I should have made notes. I was too busy doing other things, obviously. Like, first of all, I had to redo my nails because since they're gels, they keep falling off, and I had like 3 nails that still had polish on them, and I'm like, no, we need to fix this for my birthday show. So yeah, so things like that. But right, the intro talks about a bunch of different things, and you see some of them. It's been a surprisingly eventful year, right? Like, one of the images, I got to march in my first Pride Parade, like, not just attend one, but participate and march, and it was so cool. I actually got invited to do another one the other day, Friday, I think, but I wasn't sure I could physically do it And there's other circumstances involved too. So even though it's a amazing experience, having literal thousands of people cheering for you, it's so fucking great. But it's I didn't feel comfortable doing it that specific day. But I'm hoping to again later on. My own city has their Pride Festival. I don't know if we do a parade, but we have a festival in October. So that should be pretty neat and more doable. So yeah, but that was one of the big things that happened this year. At least the way it affected me, right? And that's the way I kind of we can only interpret the world by the way we're affected by the world, you know? Like I've seen so many beautiful sunsets and magnificent star-filled skies and fireflies and moons hanging all over the horizon. It feels like a fucking video game sometimes. But they, as wonderful as they are, as happy as I am to be there in the moment, it doesn't like leave a mark on my life aside from one more positive memory, you know? It's the things like marching in the Pride Parade or another one of the photos from the intro was just I I was like, you know what? I need to go touch grass, but what if I go touch water instead? And so I just took myself to one of I live near the shore of the Great Lakes, and I just went to a place semi nearby where you can just walk down to the water and there it was a short adventure. It was basically just down to the water and back to the car, which it's a bit of a hike, but that's about all that was. But it was nice. I was very glad I did it. And that happened to be one of my favorite spots in the world. You can actually see those cliffs in some of my other videos that I've used for intros and other things. It's one of the places I did some drone flying. So yeah, it's a really neat place. There's a bunch of other things. There's the speech in Kentucky. That's the first time I've ever been asked to speak by this community. And it was so freaking cool to be able to bring one of the things, not to toot my own horn, although I will toot my own kazoo. I'm very good at, to bring one of the things I'm very, very good at and use it for something good and meaningful in this community. So that was super great. But more importantly, to get to meet in person for real so many of the people I know from the community. By comparison, getting to meet and hug Kelly Godless Granny, John and KC from Godless Engineer, Purple Rhymes with Orange, Sinister Porpoise, Jay Bundy, Robin Webster, Joe from TKA, Kelly, and Mandisa. And I'm gonna miss some people because there were a lot of them. Jess from How to Rule an Asteroid. So many great people. And my apologies if I didn't mention you. There's so many people. And that was next to that, protesting Ken Ham and his nonsense. It didn't even matter. It was just screw Ken. Let's do our thing. It's fine. Liam Wakefield sends a super chat for £2. Thank you, Liam, and says Happy Embermas. And it looks like flowers. I think it's very small on my screen, but yay! Thank you. I'm getting all kinds of digital presents today. Oh, maybe I should have done a vertical stream for this show. I know we'd get a zillion haters from the random For You feeds of the interwebs, but like apparently YouTube allows gifts on the vertical streams, but not the horizontal ones. I don't know what the gifts are. They probably just translate into money. It's a different way to super chat, but it's a thing that's there and it's only available for the vertical streams. I don't know. I'm silly. Or YouTube is silly. Or possibly both. Liam says, yep, flowers. Okay. I turned my phone on so I could see what's actually going out over the stream, and it was just buffering. And now I'm not sure if it's my phone or if it's the connection. Oh, pesky technology. Oh, and I'm getting an error in YouTube Studio. What's that? We're just having a time. We're having a time. But Maya's here. Maya says Ember's still alive. That's right. I am very, very hard to kill. And while I do want to do some fun stuff, there's also some very, very hard and bad things that have happened over this past year. And while some of it I can't explicitly talk about because of potential legal stuff in the future, some of it I really want out there so people are aware of it, so people can talk about it or know that it's happening. And so I made a little video a little while back, mostly for like people I'm really, really close to explain what the hell happened, at least specifically with my job stuff. And at the risk of bringing down the mood, I would like to share that with y'all now. Because I think the people who are here also deserve to know. Let me just navigate over to, well, first I need to switch my mode. I need, yeah, like Jay Bundy, I need to mode. Where is it? Where'd I put it? I have so many thingies. I always have so many thingies. Okay, now I can highlight comments, so there's that. Left-handed Jedi had a Jesus. See, look at that. I can highlight things. Also, if you are new here, do subscribe. The channel's growing again. It's keeping me motivated. I'm constantly trying to do more and better content, and I appreciate it. And it helps. It helps motivate me, and also helps you get more good stuff like this. Okay, let's see. Yep, there's Ember still alive. Oh, I wonder if I can... Yeah, I can probably just go back. So, the super chats from earlier. Miranda sends $50. Holy shit. Thank you so much. And says, happy birthday, you beautiful bright flame. We love you. Oh my goodness. I want to print that and hang it on my wall. I don't think... Oh. Thank you. Left-handed Jedi said, happy birthday. Best wishes for your special day. Thank you, Jedi. Longtime supporter of the community, of this community specifically, but lots of other channels in the community. And it's fucking super. And then there's Liam's over here. There we go. Liam says, happy EMBERMAS, which I think, you know, there are, in the US, there are no federal holidays in August. I think we need to change that. I think EMBERMAS needs to be a holiday because... Seriously. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna play the do I really want to? It's like 18 minutes long. You know what? I want to do something else first. I'm going to... Oh! Holly Unbiblical Blarning of Sholomo Hawk says, hey, Amber, happy birthday. No birthday hat? No, I'm doing straight up flowers. I always have flowers anyway, because of Marsha P. Johnson, partly, also because flowers are gorgeous. But yeah, I mean, I could do a hat with flowers on it. This one's hard to see against this background, though. But I mean, I could do this one, my cherry blossoms. Or I could just do the cherry blossoms. I don't know. But, like, it's been so long since I've had long hair, and this is purple long hair. So I'm rocking it. Yes. Unfinished Studio says you can simulcast vertical and horizontal streams. Technically true. I just don't know how to do that, and I don't really trust my OBS to be able to manage that. So, you know, Wes is here. Hello, Wes. Good to see you. Yes, Wes. Apostate Sisters account is Patty. Just to, you know, make things easy. I went through the same thing at first, but yeah, that account is always Patty. Okay, yeah, I think I'm so torn. Yeah, let's just do it. Fuck it, let's do it. And then after that, we'll go do something else. I have in mind. I have shit. What have I done? What have I done? Okay, there we go. I thought it might be fun to take a look at some of the now that it's becoming like the schooling of the land. We're dismantling PBS and putting PragerU into fucking public schools. I thought it might be fun to look at some of the shit PragerU's putting out now. And we'll probably get to that after this. But yeah, let's do this. And I really don't want to be on screen for this part. Can I turn this window off? Can I do that? Can I? Okay, there we go. I'm invisible. Haha. So, what the hell happened? I've spoken about this in summary a few times and referenced it on a few shows, but this is the whole story pertaining to my job situation. I've removed the names of corporations and individuals here because I anticipate some kind of legal action if I can ever find an attorney, and I don't want to mess up my case. I drove a tractor trailer for my employer, based out of a terminal in New York State. One of the farthest stops we service is several hours away. At that stop, drivers are allowed to use the restroom nearest the docks. It's a long drive for most, and the stop itself can take over an hour. One day last summer, I ended up having to use that restroom. On the day itself, there was no obvious problem. However, the next time I was at that stop again, I was pulled aside by a pair of HR reps who told me in very careful language, such as, quote, "We're not judging your lifestyle," that for my safety, I should avoid leaving the docking area without a manager to escort me, and I should be especially careful to avoid areas the security cameras can't see. In particular, I should avoid the restrooms. For my own safety. They made a point of repeating that their chief concern was my safety, to emphasize the subtext, that it would be a real shame if I were to be caught all alone in a bathroom and something unfortunate were to happen. I was so shocked and humiliated by corporate reps coming to tell me that me in particular, nobody else, because of the kind of person I am, I need to have an adult hold my hand to use the potty. The same one that all the other drivers use, with no issues. It took me a while to get past the shock of it enough to realize they were conveying a threat. Like so many members of minorities before me, I ought to watch my step, because people around these parts don't take kindly to the likes of me. The message was that their employees weren't just hateful, but violent. My employer should have taken me off that run right then. Period. Whatever else they did to deal with a client threatening their employees, I should have never been sent back there again. But I was sent back there, sometimes multiple stops a week. For several months, I avoided the ostensible issue by making sure to use a restroom elsewhere before I arrived. But since HR had made clear they weren't going to do anything about the hostility from the workers there, it gradually intensified. As the harassment grew worse over the course of months, so did my anxiety about going there. It started to manifest physical consequences. I began to suffer from severe cramps from the worry, which caused me to have to stop the truck to be ill. I know this was due to that stop because it only ever happened on days I was sent there, and never on the days I wasn't. I began having panic attacks while I was there. After an incident at a different client involving much lower grade discrimination, my company's regional HR manager became involved. I'd begun keeping some notes by this point, so I know that was November 21st. She spoke to me to get the details, then contacted the client's HR department. I don't know what was discussed, but nothing really changed. I still couldn't safely step foot off the dock, let alone use the restroom. The abusive language continued to increase. The threat of violence was still there. Over the following months, it stopped being just verbal abuse. People would slow down their work to make it harder to do my job. People would go on lunch break as soon as I arrived, so I'd be delayed, or lose paperwork, or hide returns, and so forth. I knew it would keep getting worse until one of them crossed the line, and I had no way to know where that line was, since both companies apparently had given their blessing for all of this. My dread worsened, and the resulting impact on my health followed. On March 5th, one worker parked a forklift on the dock plate of my trailer, took the keys, and left, ensuring no one could unload my trailer. I mention that incident in particular because it was one I was able to get a photo of. It's hard to show a person being intentionally slow or things like that in a photo, but parking a forklift to harass someone, that is crystal clear. On March 21st, the stress and the pain had grown so bad, and I had to stop to be ill so many times on the way there, I missed the delivery appointment entirely. I spoke to the operations manager on duty that day after I returned to the terminal and informed her I could no longer do that run. My health was spiraling out of control because of the stress of that stop, but it was clear that didn't matter to the company. However, the fact I couldn't guarantee I'd get there on time anymore should have. She promised me I'd never have to go back there again, because every part of the situation was far beyond the pale. I cried in my car for an hour from the sense of relief I felt. The nightmare was finally over, I thought. The following Monday, March 24th, the head operations manager informed me that our corporate HR rep was now involved, and to expect a call from her to gather details on everything that's been happening. I never heard from her. On April 4th, the operations head informed me that HR had said, quote, "Everything is fine now," and I'd be sent back to the bad place. I tried to explain I didn't know what that means, but also that it didn't matter if the employees at the stop behaved at this point. Their feelings were clear and their actions were evident. It no longer mattered. It was what had already happened that made going back there unreasonable. I couldn't control how it was affecting my health and the delays resulting from that. She said we'd give it a week and promised we'd talk about it before sending me back. That talk never happened. On April 14th, I was sent back to that stop. To ensure I wouldn't miss the appointment this time, my schedule was adjusted earlier, from starting at 6 a.m. to 5:45. That way, the episodes of illness wouldn't inconvenience the company. It may be worth noting, I was the only driver assigned a 5:45 a.m. start time, because it was specifically done to compensate for the delays caused by my becoming ill, in turn caused by the hostile environment. The company was not only aware, they were taking steps to work around that. This time things had changed. This was the state of things for several more weeks. I was sent there 3 or 4 times a week. Instead of never having to go there again as promised, I was going there more often than ever before. On May 23rd, the illness was so severe, I vomited blood. A lot of it. I left work to go to the emergency room. The next workday, May 27th, I was sent back to that stop anyway. So I just finished a stop where I've been dealing with ongoing harassment for about a year at this point. And while that's not great, the bigger issue is my employer is aware of the situation and the impact that it's been having on my health. For instance, the last time I was sent here, I wound up in the hospital. And they sent me here again anyway. Now, fortunately, today has gone a little better than that. But holy crap! They continued to send me as often as possible until another act by the company put my CDL at risk, which made it clear the company was pushing as hard as they could to force me out without actually firing me. Here's a summary of that situation. Back on May 2nd, I had a DOT inspection where I was issued a citation for a burned out light bulb inside the vehicle's dash display. This is a fix-it ticket, and ordinarily a company will have the necessary repair made, mail in the documentation to the court listed on the paperwork, and the matter is dropped. That isn't what happened this time. The company did have the repair made, but did not send in the paperwork. I was told, don't worry about it, when I reported the citation, and having seen dozens of drivers go through the same process over the years, I didn't feel overly concerned. On June 18th, I received a notice from the court that I had missed my appearance date for that citation, that no paperwork had ever arrived, and that if I failed to appear in person on July 7th, my CDL would be suspended. I cannot stress how much this does not ever happen. Trucking companies are subject to very large fines for not resolving these citations, so making sure they're handled quickly is a priority for corporate. As it happens, on June 17th, the day before I got the letter from the court, my terminal's manager retired. It may be worth noting that while he was never hostile to my face, he made a point of misgendering me accidentally, including on official paperwork like performance reviews. That aside, it was his replacement who met with me about the ticket situation. The new manager expressed surprise, saying, quote, "In my 30 years in managing trucking, I have never seen this happen. I don't know that this was another deliberate effort to drive me out, but the fact this thing that never happens happened to me at the same time the company was intentionally putting me in an environment where I was repeatedly harassed and threatened, fully aware that it was having severe consequences on my health. To suggest this wasn't intentional as well seems quite a stretch." That was a wake-up call for me. I realized this abuse was never going to stop until I was gone, whether by loss of my license and thus my ability to earn a living, by my failing health, or by some bigot finally acting on his violent tendencies. I put in my notice on June 20th. June 30th was my last day. I believe I was discriminated against and harassed because the employees of the client company said so directly, as well as indirectly through their actions, as well as by my former employer, in that being fully aware of the extent of the hostility, as well as the resulting stress and physiological impact I was suffering from it, knowingly, intentionally, and repeatedly kept subjecting me to that environment. It is my understanding that failing to protect an employee from hate-based abuse by clients can itself be grounds for discrimination. To intentionally subject an employee to that hostility is just abuse by proxy. In the time since I left, I've attempted to contact every employment attorney I can find within 100 miles. I've reached out to national organizations for help. Mostly, I never hear back. The few who do return my calls always seem to discover they can't take my case for some reason. One firm I was put in touch with by the folks at another YouTube channel that specializes in law, because they handle employment cases in my state, suddenly discovered they can't, as it happens, handle cases in my state, coincidentally as soon as the word transgender came up. I've also reached out to the State Department of Human Rights. I've yet to hear back, but given that any issue involving a company with more than 15 employees tends to get escalated to the federal EEOC, and the fact federal policy just now is, broadly speaking, fuck minorities, I'm not sure if I ever will hear from them. One of those national We Protect Civil Liberties organizations told me point blank that my case wouldn't generate the national headlines they need to drive donations, so it wasn't in their interest to get involved. Partial credit for honesty, I guess, and for actually answering me. As for the rest, pluses and minuses. I did physically appear at court and got the citation dismissed, so my CDL is safe, for all the good that does. I discovered that sometime in the months of being sent to the hostile client nearly every day, the physiological stress response had attached itself to any long drive and was no longer confined to just that one problem stop. To be clear, it isn't just having to stop to be ill. There's an incredible amount of pain as well that lasts for hours. The bloody pools I leave on the sides of highways are just the most visible manifestation. I'm hoping that fades, because if it doesn't, I don't know how I'm ever going to drive again as a job, or do any job that requires driving for that matter. Some things are healing, some things are slower, and these problems aren't my only problems. I'm left with a lot of medical bills, from hospital visits and specialists and diagnostic scans and so forth, from this and other things that have happened. If you'd like to help me with that at least, I have a GoFundMe set up for medical expenses. Not my rent, not my food, not the activism I do, or anything else. Just to not die. I'm trying my best to get better. I make myself stay on top of the medicine I'm prescribed. I force myself to exercise. I even take care about my diet to help my digestive system recover, with increased iron to help with the ongoing blood loss. I copied most of this from the statement I sent to the state because I have a very hard time talking about this. It brings the anxiety to the forefront of my mind and makes the flaming stone in my guts burn hotter. It makes me feel ashamed that I let it get so far before realizing I was being forced out. I feel foolish because I know now that I should have left a long time before it got this bad. But I couldn't know what was happening. And I really liked that job at first. I kept hoping things could be fixed and that I could stay. I don't know what I should do or where I should turn. I haven't got a clue what the future holds. As of right now, I'm having a hard time convincing myself there's any reason to keep suffering through this horrible life just to see if the future ever gets any better. The one thing I'm holding on to is community. I know there are people who care, who value me as a person. Some even enjoy spending time with me. I know there are people who care enough to try to help me not die. Over a dozen have contributed to my fundraiser, and many who can't. Trust me, I understand. I've been poor my whole life, and I know how it is to have to choose between rent or helping someone in need. But even many of them have shared the fundraiser around, which helps too. That's just one tangible example. I've gotten messages from people asking how I'm doing. One person in particular who forbid me from dying, and uncountable positive reactions everywhere I go in this online space we share. And that means more to me than words can say. It's because of all that and more that I felt you all deserve to know. Okay, now I have to turn myself back on. That was rough to watch. So, yeah, that's what the fundraiser on top of all these streams are. The Help Ember Not Die. That's part of it. There's another part, which is described a bit more in the fundraiser. I don't really want to get into it right now. Suffice it to say, it involved more hospital stuff. I just had a surgery the other day that had to deal with fixing some of that, and it did help. It did help. Even though I'm still a little sore, dramatic improvement. There The details are gross. The details are just plain gross. But things are getting better. And that particular procedure was covered by my state insurance because since I have no job, I'm on Medicaid, at least for now. We'll see how that goes. But that procedure, at least, was covered. It only cost me a few $100s. Granted, I have no income at the moment, so a few $100s still sucks. But it's not like it was the thousands and thousands it would have been otherwise. It just, oof. Yeah, there's more to say. Yes, it was Maya who forbid me from dying. Of course it was. And we love Maya for being the commanding goddess we need her to be from time to time. And I really, really appreciate it. It's been a year of ups and downs. Like, for example, in the beginning, you saw a couple of pictures of me doing boudoir photo shoots. And I have always, always said as a photographer that they are super important, that women know they're okay, that they're empowering, that it helps you be good with your body, whatever its configuration. It's yours and it's beautiful. And when I had the chance, a fellow photographer reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm doing a retreat. A whole bunch of girls. We're going to go to this mansion and we're going to do like a whole day thing. And there'll be a boudoir shoot involved with it. And I'd like to invite you." I was touched and I was like, I got to put my money where my mouth is, kind of, so to speak, let us say. And so I went and I did the thing. And yeah, it was hella empowering. It was phenomenal being in the same place as all these other beautiful women who are just being women together and celebrating that fact. And the one picture of me outside, the photographer printed up prints for each of us that day and handed them out. And when I saw the thing, I started crying because it was the first time I'd ever felt like I could be beautiful. Holy shit, it's a powerful experience. And absolutely, not just women either. There's no reason men can't. But holy shit, it's powerful. Meanwhile, things have been happening in the chat. Let's see. Ryan Cultastic sends a $4.99 super chat and says, "Happy birthday." Thank you, Ryan. It's been so fun doing the morning shows with Ryan. We've got tomorrow for sure. Ryan's got a thing on Tuesday, and then Chris is back on Wednesday, and we've got to figure out what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it. But it's shit tons of fun, and I hope y'all join us for those. Mark Reed gifts 5 Emberships, and that reminds me, I'd been saving my second set of gift Emberships for this show. Let's see if I can drop them now. Apparently I can. Hooray! So I will do that also. Yay! So those Mark's batch went to Maya Edkison, GeoSam, Whimsy, Ian Chen Official, and Super Critical Snake. Fabulous. Good stuff, good stuff. And the batch I sent went to Velvet, KCA Randy, Stardust Lilith, Christopher Tablante, and Fern Lovebond. Everyone's favorite plant. Fantastic. Love it. So yeah, everybody do enjoy all the fun custom emojis. There's a shit ton of those, all voted on by the members. If we open up new emoji slots, there's a few in the chat. Not all of them, but a random selection. As we open up more slots, members get to vote on the new ones. We may retire some of the old ones and vote on their replacements. I don't know. We'll see. But that's just the most obvious benefit. Members above the 99 cent level. 99 cent is if you just want emojis. That's the level for you. The next level up gets other cool things like member stream at least once a month, early access to new videos, usually 7 days before they come out, as well as a fuck ton of members only content. And I mean a fuck ton. I was looking earlier trying to find that video I just played. There's so many members only videos. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. And there's other stuff too, but I don't want to plug all day. Thank you, Mark, and I hope you folks do enjoy. I hope you enjoy it enough that you become a permanent member, but enjoy it while you've got it either way. And yeah, let's see. There's other things. There's other things. I'm trying to do too many things at once and I'm losing track, but that's okay. We can just continue moseying along. So yeah, the boudoir shoot, amazing. One of the coolest things I've ever fucking done. So cool, in fact, that I did it again in the spring. An opportunity came up to do a boudoir shoot with a snake. And I was like, fuck yes. And so I did that thing. And that one got a little bit odd because there were, I don't know, there were some poses and some positions that just didn't work for wardrobe malfunction reasons, shall we say. But we produced some great fucking art, and I'm so excited. It was so fun. I love that a lot. There have been other downs as well. In December, I mean, like many creators on YouTube, we always get death threats. You know, there's trolls, there's haters, there's people who just want to stir the pot, whatever the case may be. But I got one threat that seemed especially serious. And so I was a little concerned. So I took a screenshot of the threat and where it was from, and I notified a few friends. I said, this is probably nothing, but just in case, I want y'all to know that this is out here. And then on January 30th, I got attacked. And it was extremely unpleasant. I ended up in the hospital for a few days. It also killed my damn phone, which pissed me off more than anything. I did take the attacker's knife away from him and then offer it back in a reversed fashion, which may be why he ran away. C'est la vie. So there's pluses and minuses all year, is what I'm saying. Things have been getting extreme. Some things are extremely amazing, and some things are extremely horrible. So I'm kind of trying to enjoy the moments in between, especially now when I'm in this liminal space after leaving the bad job and dealing with all the nonsense and trying to heal. I'm trying to enjoy as much as I can the quiet, relatively speaking, and in some ways it's pluses. It's better for my mental health, but it's also minuses in that I would love to go out and travel and do stuff and check out things while I have the time, but my ability to travel is greatly reduced. I don't know. Things are getting better. As many of you know who, follow the community from show to show, in the evenings for me, I've been trying to go for walks. As I mentioned in the video, I've been forcing myself to exercise, and most days I manage 5 kilometers. It's improving. We're getting there. Things are getting better, but it's very fucking slow. We'll see. Like I said in the video, I don't know what the future holds, but I do feel better overall. I feel like there's a community who cares. I feel like there's individual people who value me individually. And that means more than I have words to say. We've also been making progress on the fundraiser specifically. I haven't checked it in a minute, but I can probably pull it up. I know some people have been making contributions, and I very, very much appreciate it. But like I said in the video, I don't expect anyone to. I don't expect everyone to be able to. But I do want to recognize the people who have, you know? I assume that makes sense. So here's where we're at right now. We're at 9%, 27 donations, 1873, which honestly is more than I expected. You folks who've contributed, it helps. It's it's a really scary place to be in financially speaking, which is great to have on top of everything else, but it helps a lot, and I appreciate it. So let's see. Can I see all donors? Can I? I probably can. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. The first donor was, of course, Rochelle, one of the mod people. I don't know if her name is associated with her online handle, so I don't want to say it, but most of us know her and very much appreciate her. Logan Fisher, Martin Harvey, PT Van Manen, Anonymous, of course, Mark Reed, Dave M, Austin Sims, Gregory Hartwick. My apologies, pronunciating things is not my strong suit. Skits Crasher, Peter Thorogood, Stephanie Helms, Jason Jacoby, Elizabeth Allen, another anonymous, Helen Green, I guess monthly, which is, I did not know that was a thing, but yeah, I appreciate that too. Another anonymous, Wouter Van Villet, Steven Outcast, Robin Webster, Jason Jacoby, Marin Dameron, Miranda Rensberger, Stephanie Helms again, Tons of Mice, another anonymous, and another Miranda. Thank you, Miranda. You're kicking ass. But yeah, so I just want to recognize you folks. I very, very, very much appreciate it. I just life is strange. Life is hard. There are a lot of things about my life I really love. Things that I never had a chance to love before, and I'm finally getting to. But at the same time, there's difficult things, and it's a bit of an oof. And balancing both is tricky as hell. But you know what's not tricky as hell? Saying thank you to Dade Murphy, who sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Dade, and says, excuse me, happy birthday. Thank you. I'm trying to have a good time with it, but I'm also trying to do like an overview of the year kind of thing. And there have been a lot of minuses. I don't want to focus on that, but I do need to recognize that, you know? And there have been a lot of pluses too. I've been hanging out with my son almost every week, occasionally, like when I was away to go to Kentucky. And also the Kentucky thing, like I mentioned it before, but I cannot overstate its significance. It was one of the highlights of the whole fucking year because we got to stick it to Ken Ham. We got to fight back against nationalist Christians and creationism specifically. We got to come together and have our voices be heard, and so many people like put it out on so many channels, so many of us were like exposed to different audiences, and which in turn also strengthened the community, and like it was just such a great experience. The travel part hurt a lot, but it was such a great thing. Holy crap. And you know what else is a great thing? A super chat from my Adkison. My thing hasn't updated. There it is. Okay, it takes time sometimes. Too many things. Maya says, "Happy birthday, Ember," and also I have a thing. I have the thing. I have It's not doing it. This is why I used the kazoo earlier, but I do have a thing. Oh my. Trying to have a good mood about things is one of the most important things, especially when life is difficult. But it also makes the happy times more enjoyable. So, yeah, I'm trying to be me. I'm trying to be the most me I've ever fucking been. And I think I'm doing pretty okay at that. Let's see. Tilting windmill. Oh, I see Bo. Hello, hello, and thank you. I saw Dr. Ben earlier. Dr. Ben, thank you. Let's see. What else? I'm trying to keep up. I'm doing a lot. Rochester Swift, hello, hello. Tilting Windmill says, happy birthday. I hope it's an absolutely wonderful day. Mostly, I've been preparing for this show. But yesterday, I got to hang out with my son. We had ice cream cake. I found these cute little pumpkin pies. Pumpkin pie is my favorite. And they were tiny, but they were so tasty. And also, like, 280 calories. Oof. To be clear, my average meal, my typical full meal, is 270 calories. So these tiny little pies were as much as an actual meal. I know calories aren't everything, but it's somewhat concerning. But still, yeah, it was a pretty good day. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Wes apparently is doing work things, getting ready for a call-in show. Yeah, let's talk over on Skeptic Haven. I've been over there a couple of times. One of them is still visible on the internets. Regios sends 5 Ember ships. Very cool. Thank you, Reggie. Those went to Sydney Raptor, B.S. Lewis, Tori Swansinger. Swan. Am I saying that right? It's like I said, it's very tiny on my screen. Tori, Booba Sweat. That's 4. Is it hiding the 5th one on me? It may be hiding the 5th one, or maybe it's just not selecting one. I don't know. I only see 4. How peculiar. Anyway, you 4 and whoever else the mysterious 5th person winds up being, congratulations. Do enjoy all the fun custom emojis. We have a bunch of emojis. This is just a few, as well as other benefits besides early access to videos, member stream, various things. Oh, no way! Mark says it gave one to Catherine MC. Yes, Catherine is blocked, both personally and at the channel level. I don't know why the algorithm would pick someone who is blocked from the channel, but computers be weird, yo. Yeah, Catherine is one of the reasons that I played that video earlier, because she and a bunch of sock accounts and or friends of a certain past debate opponent of Mark's have taken it upon themselves to start spreading, let's say, misinformation of a hateful variety about me. And that's, yeah. Bigots get bans. Oopsie. Like Reggie says, the 5th is likely blocked for cause. Uh-huh. Yes. Very good cause. Yes. Oh my. Titan says, honestly, that's great. Imagine how torqued she's going to be at seeing the email she has a membership here when she can't even post. In a way, yeah. It's almost like the algorithm is trolling her, which, in fairness, is what she deserves. So yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, so my head's all over the place. I appreciate y'all so fucking much. It's just, so let's do some silliness. Probably silliness. I don't know for sure. But like I mentioned earlier, in the United States, we're canceling PBS. We're replacing it with PragerU, which is already in the curriculum in lots of public schools here in the US, at least a couple of states and possibly soon at the federal level. So that should be interesting. So let's see what kind of nonsense they're putting out. Now, I don't want to strawman anyone, even though these fuckers surely deserve it. I tried to find a video that seemed to be the least controversial thing I could find on their channel. Let's see how this goes.
It's no exaggeration to say that the modern civil rights movement began with the 1954 Supreme Court decision of Brown v. Board of Education.
Well, right there I have to stop. I have to stop you at the 10-second mark. And about half of that was just the PragerU logo. It's not an exaggeration. He's correct about that. It is not an exaggeration. It's just plain wrong. The reason the 1954 Brown versus Board of Education decision happened is because the civil rights movement was already underway. They were fighting against segregation and bullshit laws because that was what the civil rights movement was doing. What do you mean? As Titan says, the civil rights movement was already strong in the 1920s. Like, I mean, I understand Prager is revisionist history to the nth degree, but holy crap, we can't even make it 5 seconds of speaking before we're just straight up saying things that aren't true. I love it. Reggie says, haven't seen anything that verifies they will replace PBS. Correct. It's sort of a hyperbole talking point sort of thing, how we're defunding PBS and we are adding PragerU to curriculums and whatnot. So it's sort of a talking point kind of way of saying we're replacing the one with the other. That's not literally true. It's just rhetoric. But it's not that far from being true. And in some ways, it's actually kind of worse. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Miranda says, oh good, let's hear about the history of the civil rights movement from a random white guy. I'm not sure he's technically a white guy, but I mean, close. If he's on PragerU, he may as well be. Oh, yeah. Mind Finished Studio says the volume almost blew my ears off. Is the video stupid loud? I can turn that down. I'll drop it a few decibels. Did they plot that out in Project 2025? Oh my. Kind of, yes. Kind of. Titan says, quote, I'm a white American male. You know I'm correct. Yep, that's how they do it, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's propaganda. I mean, PragerU, where even when they try to be honest, it's still propaganda. So let's go on.
That the case reached the court was a testament to a nation's desire to correct a long-standing injustice. And at the same
Well, that's not how cases reach the Supreme Court. To reach the Supreme Court, a case has to be decided by a lower court and then appealed to a federal appellate court, one of the circuit courts. And they will render a verdict. They will make a decision. And then one of the parties is unhappy with it and so appeals to the Supreme Court to take a look at the case and decide it once and for all. And the Supreme Court doesn't even have to take it. They pick the ones they want to take. And this is a thing, you know, certain talking heads, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and others complained about activist judges on the Supreme Court. But that's always been the case. They pick the cases that they believe can advance the causes they're advocating for. Like, even if they're relatively neutral in a political perspective, they still have a hobby horse. You know, something like the Constitution above the executive, for example. Like, that's their thing. And so they'll pick out cases that advance the agenda that they're going for. That's why the nomination of judges is so important. They've always had this. And so in the 1950s, the Supreme Court said, aha, let's select that case that's being appealed. They don't have to take it. The people can be as outraged as they want. It doesn't compel the court to take it, nor to decide a specific way. But they decided to take it. I assure you, there were other cases very much like that in the preceding decades. But it was only in the 50s when the court started to shift after a generation of relative stagnancy. Yes, stagnancy. We'll go with that. That's a word now if it wasn't before. New blood started trickling in, and the court was like, hey, we should do something about this segregation issue. Aha! What if we go for the schools? Let's integrate the schools. And it's important even today, because once again, the hobby horse of discrimination and segregation is rearing its head in different forms than before. But it is the same beast, and once we start doing it, we will start doing it for other things. Jessica, the transmetal alchemist, is here. She says there are white people who generally think that Rosa Parks was the first act of civil disobedience. Black history is erased via misremembering. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's... There's so much. The United States is just so much oof. So much oof.
Time an indictment for allowing the injustice to have existed for so long. Although the Union victory in the Civil War freed Black Americans from slavery, it did not free them from racism. Southern Democrats soon imposed Jim Crow.
Southern conservatives. This is one of the propaganda techniques. It happens to be factually correct that the people who started the anti-Black legal campaigns, Jim Crow laws, voting tests, and all these things, were Democrats. Because that was the conservative party at the time. They were the regressives pushing back against change. The racists. That started to change round about the 50s. But at the time, they were the conservatives. They'll do the same thing in reverse when they talk about Abraham Lincoln. You know, Republicans freed the slaves. Progressives freed the slaves. They just happened to have an R next to their name at the time. So they'll jump back and forth. Sometimes they'll talk about a party that did a horrible thing and not mention the reasons why. Other times, they'll talk about whether it was a progressive or a conservative who did a thing and not mention their party, because until fairly recently, the alignment was reversed. But details. It's an important detail, but details. It's just another example of the subtle propaganda they're slipping in.
Laws to deny Black Americans the right to vote and to segregate them from whites. Even after large numbers.
That's partially correct, but there's a lot of fucking omission there. Like, it's not just limiting the ability to vote. You know, I mean, it's even in places where there was voting allowed, it was in many of the same ways we're seeing today. Like, an entire city would get one polling place to make it harder for them to vote. Or there were poll taxes. You can vote, but you gotta pay. Knowing that a lot of people who were just slaves a few years ago don't have money to pay with because they're free, but they don't have jobs. What the fuck? And there's so much shit like this that's technically covered but not expressly mentioned. And then there's the other things going on, like the lynchings, for example, when gangs, posses, if you will, of people would hunt down a black person and just straight up kill them. Sometimes they had an excuse, but not always. And even if they did have an excuse, it still wasn't anything remotely close to legal. It was straight up murder. But it was just overlooked. And that's a thing that's still happening today. In 2025. It's a lot less common for black people, but it does still happen. And it's no longer just black people. It's happening to Hispanic people, or Latinos, if you prefer. It's happening to LGBT people every fucking day. And it's happening to trans people specifically so much more often. We're, even with the media pretending to ignore that we exist, not mentioning the fact that we had the largest march in London ever that started right outside the BBC headquarters. Over 100,000 people in the streets of London. Not a peep from the BBC or any other major media news organization. Just pretending it wasn't happening. Even with that kind of erasure going on, they still haven't been able to ignore cases like Sam Nordquist, who was tortured to death by transphobes. They ignore a lot. There's a lot more going on than we're hearing about, but even some of that is still getting through. The hate has mutated, but it hasn't gone away.
Numbers of Black Americans served in both world wars, especially in World
And the Civil War? There were so many African Americans who, were actually, many of them were from Africa, single generation or second generation. And they fought in the Civil War. They fought some of them fought for the Confederacy because they were forced to by their owners, but some fought for the Union in exchange for their freedom, even prior to the Emancipation Proclamation. And some stayed in after the Emancipation Proclamation because progressive people, tend to put values above personal gain. Weirdly enough. That's why Harriet Tubman existed. She escaped. She made it to the North. And then she went back and saved more people. And then she went back again and saved more people. She was like a land pirate. She kept raiding the South and taking away their property and setting those people free to be full human beings in society. She was fucking amazing. But the point is, the contributions of Black Americans to make America better, not just in the abstract, the idea of the country, but to make America better by helping the people in it have better lives, has been going on for a very fucking long time.
War II. Social and material equality for white and black citizens was far from a reality.
That's true, and still true. It's less severe, but it's still true. Gazela Mail dropping by, saying can't stay long, but I had to stop in and say happy birthday, Ember. Thank you, Gazalem. It's always good to see you. And let's see, Alex Markel. Yeah, the Revolutionary War has entered the chat. Eric Wander. I'm starting to lose track of who I've said hello to, but hello just in case. I appreciate you all being here. I'm trying to have a nice birthday celebration. I can't help but cover some serious stuff because I'm like, a lot has happened over the course of this year. But overall, I'm still alive. I'm better than Ember. And while I don't know what the fuck the future holds, I'm burning brighter every damn day. So hell yeah. Captive Desk, happy birthday, Ember. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was talking about, earlier on, Dave played a song on last night's show, and it made me cry. I was tempted to bring up the stream and play the song again here, at the risk of seeming overly narcissistic, perhaps, but I didn't because it might make me cry again. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right, Mark. It's my birthday. I do what I want. I mean, hell, the fact I'm having a birthday. This is, first of all, surviving this year, not easy. But also, like, This is the first full year I've got to be me. And even though I've had incredible opposition starting in January, arguably starting in December, arguably starting last summer, it's still so fucking great to get to be me. I don't know how I can possibly convey how fucking magical that is. How amazing that feels to go through your whole life, your whole fucking life, being told you have to stay in that box. If you deviate even slightly, there will be severe social consequences. Your spouse might leave you. You might never see your kids again. You might be killed on the street. And then to finally, unfortunately, reach a point where you no longer cared if you lived or died. And so to start living instead. And suddenly, for the first time, you get to step out of the box. And you get to stand all the way up. And stay there. That's an experience. And you know, we're moving on from that. You know, I've often said that Maya is partly responsible. Because for a long time, I would say something like, I feel much more affinity towards the femme side of the spectrum, but I felt like I was too old. I could never actually do it. I could never make it. I would never look right. I'd always be a freak. I'd always have severe dysphoria. It was just more comfortable and less risky to stay in the androgynous middle. And then one day when I was trying to explain that perspective, Maya, she just, let me stop you right there. What you just said is that you are a trans woman who just hasn't transitioned. And I could not deny it. She was absolutely fucking correct. And so I'm like, why not? If we're at the point where we no longer care if we continue to live, why not fucking try? And so I did. And here we are. And I'm so fucking happy. I wish everybody could feel this kind of feeling. Maya says, I'm just an asshole. It was easier for me to call her a woman. I get that. But still, I appreciate the push. At least it helped with the mental switches, you know? It was like, why not? I mean, I know why not, and I've experienced some of those consequences about why not, but compared to everything else, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even a little bit. And I've met so many amazing people since. Yes, it's true. It's not part of this year per se, from August 24th to August 24th. But when I first started to actually go for it, when I said, I'm doing this, the community started hemorrhaging people. One of the people who was one of my biggest supporters, who was there in every show, was the first person on my Patreon, and just, I mean, he went out of his way to try to connect me with other people, and Mindshift started blowing up. He got in Mindshift's DMs and was like, hey, here's this person named Ember you have to talk to. But as soon as I said I'm going for it, gone. Not just gone, but tried to blow up the channel. Picked a fight in the chat over something stupid, and tried to just like, oh, Ember's evil now, and just, it was horrible. That was the most obvious one, but a lot of fucking people left. I had no idea there was so much bigotry in the atheist community. which is one of the reasons I've been moving away from labeling myself as an atheist. While I personally am, that doesn't really represent what I'm trying to do. You know, I'm trying to stand up for humanist principles, for secular principles. And when I push back against religion, it's not specifically because of the religion, it's because of what the hateful people are trying to do under the cover of religion. It's the harm they're doing I'm pushing back against, not so much the religion itself. The fact that they're using religion as a cover should make religious people as furious as it makes us. Possibly more so because it's their religion that's being made to look like shit. But I do digress. The reason I mention all that's a hell of a tangent. That's why we have a tangent emoji. Yes, I will use the tangent there. The reason I mention all of that is because even after the people started leaving and were never to be seen or heard from again, a lot of them didn't announce their departure. Just the subscriber count started nosediving and views went way the hell down. C'est la vie. But I've met so many wonderful people since then. People who didn't know me before. And some people who knew me before and then found me again after. And in a way, that's actually kind of fun. When a person who knew me from, doing the show with Gazelem, for example. We did Demons in the Book of Mormon show a few years ago. And people who knew me from that and hadn't seen me since and then see me now are like, holy shit. And that's amazing. But, I mean, so many people, Carly Chardonnay-Webb over in the Transpositions, never heard of her before we started doing the show together. And Jessica, the Transmetal Alchemist. I don't think I would have met you if not for this change. I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't have met any of you because I don't know how much longer I would have been alive if I hadn't started transitioning. Like I've said before, I didn't actively want to die. I just didn't care. And I didn't particularly want to wake up the next. I'll rephrase. It was worse than that. Every night I went to sleep, I wished I wouldn't wake up. And then I did. And that sucked. I don't do that anymore. Now I wake up. And first I go, ow, my ears hurt because my ears hurt. But the very next thing after that is I get that feeling of proprioception. When your brain fires up and turns on and all of a sudden your awareness of your body returns. I can feel my skin from the inside. And it's warm. And it's protective. Like I can feel in a way I couldn't before. My emotions make fucking sense now. My memory works so much better. It's by no means perfect, but it is so much better. It's wild how well your brain functions when it's running on the chemicals it was actually designed for. I'm not just prettier, although there's that too. I'm so much happier. I wish everyone could feel like that. Maybe I've asked before, do cis people just feel like this their whole lives? I don't know. I don't know if anybody will ever know. But holy crap, it's a cool feeling. But you know what else is cool? A super chat from Dan D for $5. I'm so smooth, aren't I? It's like, I'm good at this or something. Let's say or something, because I've only had a few major glitches throughout this show. Dan D says, happy birthday, Ember, and a couple of drinks. Huzzah! Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that very much. Yay. Oh. All right. Enough preaching from me. There was a reason I started talking about that, and yeah, I'm so glad to know you folks. It just, like I mentioned in the video about the bad things, There's some days where community is all there is. And I appreciate y'all being a part of that very, very much. Okay, speaking of horrible things, let's continue with this video. Yay! Miranda says, it's so good to see how much you smile and laugh now. Thank you. I tried to be, like, to enjoy life as much as possible, because I know we're only here for a certain amount of time, under the best circumstances. And I don't want to waste any of it. But, like, before it was effort, and now it just is. It's phenomenal.
For example, schools across the nation were, for the most part, segregated by race. These segregation policies had found their legal refuge in the infamous 1896 Supreme Court decision, Plessy v. Ferguson, which created the doctrine of separate but equal. That was the legal.
So could it be that civil rights activism has been going on since 1896 with Plessy versus Ferguson? People started pushing back against that? Or could it be civil rights activism started after the conservatives started blocking Black people from being able to vote or just not be killed in public? Maybe? Perhaps?
Theory. It was rarely the practice. Black schools were almost always inferior. That was still true in the
Almost always. Almost. No, they pretty much always. Pretty much always. If you can point out a single exception, I would be very surprised. I'm not going to say there are 0 exceptions, because maybe there were. I don't know. But I would be very surprised if this professor person could name me one example of a blacks-only school that was superior to not just the best whites-only school, but the average whites-only school. Maybe he can, but I'm very skeptical.
late 1940s and early 1950s, and it outraged many fair-minded people. One of those people was Thurgood Marshall, the founder of the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund. That Plessy had to be confronted, Marshall had no doubt. Whether the country was ready for such an assault was the issue.
Again, propaganda. Very subtle. He's addressing a court decision that promotes segregation, that makes segregation the law of the land. He's referring to it as an assault. It's an act of violence. It's perhaps terrorism against the law and order of the United States. Super subtle. Holy shit. Oh, goodness. I see Chelsea with other things behind it I'm still not going to say on air. Says, happy B-Day to you. Thank you. Let's see. Native Atheist, hello. Good to see you. Sinister Porpoise says, EMBERMAS? Why, yes, it's EMBERMAS. It's a new high holy holiday. And that's all the H's I've got at the moment. But yeah, it's a holiday now. It's always been my personal holiday, but now I have graciously deigned, now that I've been promoted to the rank of goddess by the queen of goddesses, Maya herself. Yes, I'm actually a living goddess now. I have decreed this is my high holy day. It's just what we're doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That worked so perfectly. That was not intentional. It just fell, but it was so perfect. Holy shit. Oh my. Yeah, we're picking apart some Prager. It's what do you want to do on your birthday? Let's voluntarily look at PragerU. What the fuck is wrong with you, Ember? Why are you like this? Oh my goodness. But yeah, Mark says, since when did democracy become assault? It's very loaded language, you know? Oh, Loki is here saying happy birthday. Thank you, Loki. Spoiler Sinister. Sinister's dropping hints about what's coming up on Bad Science Sunday in a little while. We're not spilling. I mean, I don't know, maybe we are. It's not my show to make the rules about, but still, yeah, that's for later. We'll do that later. Sinister says, so we need a high holy day that was between my birthday and Talk Like a Pirate Day. That seems wise. I mean, honestly, we need more holidays, period. But like the holy ones, like Talk Like a Pirate Day, they're very important. It's cultural traditions that need to be preserved, you know? Yeah, absolutely. Big Bed Mama. Hello. Happy birthday. Let's Farm says happy birthday. Oh, and Porpoise did also say happy birthday. I just skipped over it for the more fun. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, for being part of the show. My goodness. Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can finish this thing off before we get to the 2-hour mark. Good luck on that. Now, once again, I will remind everyone, because we have some people who've come in and some people who've left, like Punk Apostate. Hello, Brentley. Thank you. This show will, as always, take everybody over to Maya's for Bad Science Sunday, but I won't be able to wait until Maya goes live like I normally do and then send everybody over. I need a couple minutes between shows, so this stream's gonna wrap before Maya starts. You'll still be forwarded over, but there's gonna be a little time gap. So use that as an intermission. Get some popcorn, get a snack, do whatever you gotta do, all that sort of stuff. But there will be a break. I'm warning you ahead of time. Yeah. Because as crazy as I am, I'm not doing, over 3 hours and then doing another 2 to 3 hour show with no break in between. We did that my first birthday on YouTube. We did a 12-hour show, and the next day hurt. I did it, but it hurt. So we're taking a break between shows. Punk says Ember knows literally everything, by the way. That may or may not be true. It's not quite true. I do know quite a lot of things, however. And I need to switch thingies here in order to do this. Okay, that kind of works. And one thing I do know is that you can go to adamandeve.com and enter the code word Brentley for 50% off almost any one item, 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. That's adamandeve.com, code word Brentley. Get your butt some stuff. Not sponsored. I am not sponsored. I am simply stealing. I am pirating this ad from Punk Apostate. If you want to see the ad done properly, make sure you subscribe to Punk Apostate. Tune in. Most weekdays and sometimes on the weekends and things. He does it a lot better than I do, folks. I'm just being silly, but it's just so fucking funny. I love it. And honestly, stealing it is sort of, it suits me. It's the pirate thing. Avast ye lubbers, Yeah. I'd been waiting for you to walk in, Brentley, because I've been telling him that many of us have pirated his ad and we're doing it on other shows, but I wanted to make sure he could see it. Meanwhile, other wonderful things that everybody should be able to see. See, I'm not actually that good at these transitions. I'm doing my best, but I'm not perfect. Eric Wander gifted 10 Ember ships, and those went to... They're very small on my screen. I'm trying to find a window I can read them in. Introvert Ancom, Jason T, Action Squad, Doc Don Hogg. Did Johnny change his name again? My Unfinished Studio, Tilting Windmill, Jake, insert clever dapper inside joke here, Nelson, Hillhugger, Robin Webster, Kristen Slays, and Probe 666. Probe 666. Oh, he shortened it. Fascinating. It's so fun to see the way people change their names from time to time. It's fun. It's fun. But yeah, thank you, Eric. Eric's been a supporter for a very long time. I think we met when I was still doing shows over on Aaron's channel. But yeah, I very much appreciate it. Huge supporter of the community. And yay, thank you. Okay, I have so many windows open, folks. I'm trying to keep everything straight. And I do have my laptop right here next to me in case OBS misbehaves again. I can turn that one on and be back online momentarily. So, you know, just in case it happens. I'm actually semi-prepared this time.
Several years, he waited for the right opportunity to present itself. It came in 1951, when Marshall found a group of Black parents from Topeka, Kansas, who were ready and willing to challenge their local school board's policy of racial segregation.
Now, to be clear, the way this is phrased is a little bit off-putting. Like, virtually everyone who gets discriminated against is willing to fight that discrimination. It's whether they're able, because these cases take years and are very expensive. Now, it's true, Marshall started the NAACP to help offset these court costs. But at the very beginning, they didn't have the money to just pay them up front. And they still don't. Like I was talking about earlier, there's so many civil rights organizations around the US today where they will, even though they exist to protect everyone's civil liberties, they will only take the cases that generate national headlines. If a case like mine won't wind up in the New York Times, they won't take it because that's how they drive donations, which enables them to be able to afford to go through the legal process, which is very expensive. I mean, I understand why, even if it's bullshit that they present themselves as defending people's civil liberties, and then only go for the ones where they could make money and fuck everyone else. But yay capitalism, I suppose. The point is, it's not that no one else had a problem with this law. This was a group of people who had the means to go through the courts to fight it. And that can take a while to find a group of people able to do that.
At the heart of this action was Linda Brown, a young girl forced to attend a racially segregated school 24 blocks from her home, despite living near a whites-only school. Brown, Marshall argued before the court, was being deprived of her constitutional rights. He based his argument on the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. That clause, ratified soon after the Civil War, declared that no state may deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Segregated schools, Marshall insisted.
That's part of what it says. It's interesting that we get the ellipses. We get the summarization. He says, the states cannot. And then we get the quote, deny to any person. Very interesting. It's very interesting. I wonder what else it says. Let's look it up. Full text of the 14th Amendment. Let's see if it'll even show us anymore, because the last time I looked, I couldn't even find the full text. Like, the Library of Congress was deleting entire sections of it. So let's see. This is a website called Facing History and Ourselves. And they've got pop-ups. Okay, this is the full text of the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, which granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, including former slaves recently freed. Neat. The following constitutional amendment was approved by Congress on June 13th, 1866, and ratified on July 9th, 1868. There's quite a bit of text here, but it's only a few sections. Let's go through it. Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. This is a little bit different from what Prager just presented us with, right? Like, first of all, it bars the states from making laws that abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States or enforcing those laws, which is fascinating because when it comes to federal laws that do infringe on people's rights, the states are specifically barred from enforcing them. Oops, I guess. But also, separate from that, in its own clause, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction. This goes beyond citizenship. If you are a living, breathing human in the borders of the United States, you are covered by the protection of the laws, federal, state, local. It doesn't matter what country you're a citizen of, or if you're not a citizen of any nation. You could be a flippin' alien from Mars. You're covered. Fuck yeah. But we're not talking about that sort of thing in 2025, are we? Section 2. Representatives shall be appointed among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding natives not taxed, but when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for president and vice president of the United States, representatives of Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state, or the members of the legislature thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants of such state, being 21 years of age and citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged, except for participation in rebellion or other crime. Stairs in orange in the general direction of Pennsylvania Avenue. The basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of such male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years of age in such state. Can you tell this was written in the 19th century? Holy shit. Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature or as an executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. So, I see why they're calling attention to Section 1, because Section 3 kind of indicates that, our current administration is unconstitutional. It's not legally valid. Oops. Now, a 2/3 vote by each House of Congress could remove this disability, but they never did that. Yeah. Now, why hasn't this been brought up? Because like we were just talking about, in order to get something through the court, you have to bring it to the court, and you have to fight it all the way through, which is very damn expensive. I don't have the money for that. I don't have the money for fucking groceries. Maybe some people do. And they just haven't read the Constitution, I suppose. Section 4. The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. But neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss or emancipation of any slave. But all such debts, obligations, and claims shall be held illegal and void. And Section 5. Congress shall have the power to enforce, by appropriate legislation, the provisions of this article. And even though this seems obvious and simple, the least important of all the sections, this does have some serious meaning to it. Because so many laws we see passed, particularly proposed constitutional amendments, including some amendments that actually have been ratified, do not include an enforcement clause. The amendment itself is not self-enforcing. It's like saying we have a no black ties policy. Cool, what happens if I wear a black tie? Well, you just can't because we have a policy. So nothing happens. You just say it can't be. And that's where we are with a lot of bullshit at the federal level. They say, oh, trans people can't exist. But here we are existing. And what do they do about it? Well, you just can't. And yet here we are. It's fucking ridiculous. Yes, tangents. I know, tangents. I can't help myself, folks. It's what I do. It's what we do here. Let's get back to Prager.
Clearly violated that clause and were thus unconstitutional. The Supreme Court initially heard the case at the end of 1952. Had it reached a decision that year, it likely would have been a very close vote. That changed dramatically when President Dwight Eisenhower appointed Earl Warren, the Republican governor of California, as the new Chief Justice.
See, notice he points out that Warren is a Republican. This is the early 1950s, before the switch. So he's a progressive governor of California. But he did happen to be a Republican. So in this case, they'll mention he was a Republican because they want to take credit for the things he was doing.
Justice in 1953. Warren strongly favored abolishing segregation in public schools and was determined that the decision be unanimous.
What do Republicans, what are they determined to do now? What's their party platform on the matter of discrimination? What are Republicans saying today? It's very curious. Very strange how they want to, oh, he's a Republican, and then take credit for abolishing segregation, when it's a literal party platform plank to reinstitute segregation, to take the vote away from women, from black people, from everyone who isn't white. Some people have even proposed from everyone who isn't Christian. Because that seems legal. To reinstitute segregation and make everyone property again. Segregation is the least of our worries. But it is still a worry.
It wasn't, he thought. Segregationists could use the dissenting opinions as an excuse for delaying desegregation. Warren got his way. In May 1950,
see, this is another one of the shell games, right? Like, they're saying, if not for Warren, the court would have been divided. But because one judge came on board, suddenly it was unanimous. That's not how anything works, bestie. That's not how anything works. Like, judges can ask for a unanimous opinion, but they cannot compel the other judges to side with them. That's not how no.
before, the court unanimously decided in favor of Brown. Writing for the court, Warren declared that in the field of public education, the doctrine of separate but equal has no place. Separate educational facilities are inherently unequal.
And here we are, a conservative propaganda organization touting this as a great achievement of republicanism. At the same time, they're promoting the exact opposite. They're pushing for the exact opposite to be part of law. Do we not see the cognitive dissonance? Do we not see the conflict? It's unreal. It's unreal.
The era of Plessy was no more. The decision's historic significance was immediately apparent. Charles Johnson, the president of Fisk University, proclaimed, "If segregation is unconstitutional in educational institutions, it is no less so in other aspects of our national life."
That's true. Which makes one wonder about the push to segregate schools again, or the push to segregate other parts of life again. It's very peculiar.
Brown mattered not only legally, but also morally and socially. It acknowledged the inherent dignity of all children and affirmed that quality education, the great equalizer, cannot be compromised. However,
He's leaving out a lot. There were a whole bunch of court cases that took place within a few years of either direction that had to do with whether children had rights. They're not age 21 like it says in the amendment. They're not even age 18. They're children. So do they even have any rights? What rights do they have? What are the extent of those rights? I think it was in the 60s, there was a Supreme Court case about students having the right to protest. And, obviously, administrations said, fuck no, this is a learning environment. We can't have that disruption. But the courts ruled, actually, the Constitution doesn't stop at the schoolhouse gate. Which makes a lot of sense, because if you as a child are already legally compelled to be a certain place, and then while you're at that place, your rights are abrogated because you happen to be there. What is the difference between that and prison? I mean, even in prison, you have your First Amendment. Some of your rights are abrogated because that's the nature of prison. That's what's entailed in incarceration as a punishment. But to have prisoners have more rights than school kids seems pretty fucked. And here we are. Oh my goodness. Speaking of here we are, Jasper and Heckleck have both dropped out. Hello. Thank you for coming. Yes, it's my birthday. And apparently I'm a masochist because we're torturing ourselves. I don't know. It seemed like a good idea at the time because debunking bullshit is what this channel started for. And holy crap, PragerU is sitting on some bullshit. Wowzers.
not everyone, including some in the Black community,
Including some in the Black community? Oh no! The Black people were fighting against their own liberation. Clearly, we need white saviors to come in and protect the Black community from the poison in their midst. Tell me more, Professor.
believed the court had fully thought through the ramifications of its decision. Was immediate integration the most effective way forward? Would a more gradual approach be less socially disruptive?
This could be a legitimate question. This could be some honest discourse. In what way should we implement desegregation? When to emerge? How to emerge? Should we even emerge at all? Sort of thing. They could be valid if they were posed by people with a legitimate interest, rather than these just asking questions types who just want to red herring everyone so nothing ever gets accomplished. We see the same thing now. It's asking too much to just have blanket integration for trans people. Or Spanish-speaking people. We can't just throw them all together. Think of the social disruption. Except they've always been integrated. Trans people have always been there. We're just open about it now. Spanish-speaking people have been part of the United States since the United States took possession of the north half of Mexico. What do you mean? It'd be too disruptive to integrate the... Get the fuck out of here. We need to, like everything else, we need to do it. And the people who are so backward and small-minded, they have a problem with it, need to get the fuck over it. And they need to know the message from on high is they need to get the fuck over it. Because we're not putting up with their bullshit. But no, today we're hemming and hawing. Whoa, think of the children. It's the children they're hurting. Holy shit. As Miranda says, a society full of injustice needs to be disrupted. Absolutely. Holy shit.
Would such an approach lessen the hostility that Black students would almost certainly encounter in predominantly white schools?
Now that's semi-legitimate. Because it's true, there was definitely going to be some backlash. There were going to be people hurt. And yes, we could minimize that by holding the people who hurt them accountable, but it wouldn't protect the people who were initially hurt. It would just deter others from doing hurting later. And we kind of see that now. But here's the thing. You have to actually hold the people responsible with either approach. Because however you do it, whether you do it slow or you do it fast, there's still going to be hostility. There's still going to be people who hurt other people. The only way to stop it isn't to adjust the speed. It's to make it clear those people will pay for what they did. And that's not what we see in our society. We don't see Brock Turner paying for what he did because he had such a promising career ahead of him. We don't see the people who killed Nex Benedict paying for what they did, or Ryan Walters, the superintendent of Oklahoma, who put the policies in place that got her killed. There has to be accountability, or it doesn't matter how fast or slow policies are implemented.
The court rejected this incrementalist thinking. Racial integration could not be delayed. Resistance to the decision was fierce, especially in the South. Local and state officials declared...
Yes, Miranda. Miranda says integration will expose Black kids to violence is literally exactly the same as stay out of the bathroom for your own safety. And that's a callback to the thing at the start of the stream, as well as politics broadly. It's a lovely face you've got there. It'd be a real shame if someone put a bathroom sink into it. Shit. I broke it.
It's appointed Earl Warren.
Oh, where the hell were we? Presenting opinions, yes. Oh, okay. Ramifications? Yeah, right about here. I meant to close the chat and I clicked on the wrong thing. I'm live broadcasting.
The court had fully thought through the ramifications of its decision. Was immediate integration the most effective way forward? Would a more gradual approach be less socially disruptive? Would such an approach lessen the hostility that Black students would almost certainly encounter in predominantly white schools? The court rejected this incrementalist thinking. Racial integration could not be delayed. Resistance to the decision was fierce, especially in the South. Local and state...
Especially in the South. Do you think? Do you imagine? He's going to tell us a story in a minute. He's not going to tell us what happened to that little girl, who was the reason for the case in the first place. Because her story is important. She did face resistance going into school. She needed authority to step in on her behalf so she could go to school. She's still alive today because people knew there would be backlash, there would be threats, there would be hostility, and there would be violent action taken by people who didn't see it as a moral wrong to kill a child, much like today. She's still alive because people were intelligent to realize there were haters who would go too far and to take steps to protect the children. Actually protect the children. And she's still alive today. The first black kid to go into a white school. We're within a living generation of that. We're going to hear a slightly different story. And fortunately, the people in this case also mostly survived. There's a reason he doesn't finish the one story and instead substitutes the other.
State officials declared they would openly oppose school integration. In September 1957, Arkansas Governor Orville Faubus ordered Arkansas's National Guard to prevent 9 black students, the Little Rock Nine, from entering the town's Central High School. A mob joined the Guard in blocking their entry. President Eisenhower responded by sending the U.S. Army's 101st Airborne Division to protect the students. Despite these challenges, the momentum Brown generated could not be stopped. As Charles Johnson anticipated, Brown's
We're just going to gloss it over. Oh, the momentum of the case. The momentum of the case. Yeah, let's not talk about Bull Connor. Let's not talk about George Wallace. Segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever. As a believed to be a contender for the presidency. Those movements back then were defeated by people willing to take action to do what was right, even if it required force. Those same ideologies are still around. And today, people aren't pushing back. Not with force, not even seriously with words. And so those powers have power now because they didn't stop, they didn't go away. They just started undermining the system from the inside. They started weakening the education system. They'd already started doing that at the end of the Civil War. Remember, the Scopes monkey trial was in the 1920s. We need to teach the Bible instead of science in school. But when they started losing in the civil rights, they started getting serious. Remember, every Looney Tunes organization that is behind nationalist Christians today, and remember, the nationalist goes first because they don't give a damn about Christ. It's just a flag they can wave so they can raise more donations. It's nationalism all the way with these people. Young Earth creationists, Answers in Genesis, Institute for Creation Research, Discovery Institute, all of this stuff started getting popular in the 1960s. Very curious. All these other organizations, Heritage Foundation, the Koch brothers behind PragerU, all this sort of stuff. It's been growing and growing and growing, but it started in the 60s. Modern Flat Earth. That one's a little bit more obscure because it seems like a silly, innocent, wackadoo idea on the surface. But it gets a little bit more sinister. That's a topic for another show. The point is, it was people fighting for their civil rights that made the regressives realize they needed to get serious, and it would take generations for them to undo those changes. And what is the main goal of Project 2025? To roll back civil rights to pre-1965. Curious, isn't it?
Declaration of racial equality reverberated through the legal system. While Brown only dealt with segregation in public schools, courts applied it in case after case, to desegregate other public settings, such as beaches, golf courses, and buses. All this laid the foundation for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
Uh-huh. And how did those go? How did that work out? Was there a political component to that, Professor? Or are we just not acknowledging that because it doesn't serve the purpose of the propaganda that this historical piece may or may not be peddling?
We take for granted now that government-imposed segregation is a thing of the past, but we should not forget that Brown made it possible. I'm Sharif Girgis, Associate Professor of Law at the University of Notre Dame for Prager University.
Yeah, so that's our friend. You just no mention of the administration that was in charge or their political affiliation or their ideological affiliation, because whether they're progressive or regressive matters a whole hell of a lot more than the letter after their name. Nope, we're just going to leave that. That can't possibly be important. Freaking disgusting. So deeply dishonest. It just... It's a little upsetting, you know? But enough of the upsetting stuff. We've had some highs, we've had some lows, we've had some debunking nonsense, like, you know, for old time's sake, sort of thing. But we do still have a few more minutes before I've got to scoot. Once again, quick reminder, this stream will take you over to Bad Science Sunday, but we need to end a little before Maya starts because I need a break between shows. I will be over there. I will be causing mischief. I will be annoying the anti-magnetic weasel. And probably everyone else, considering what we're going to cover. Oh boy, it's a doozy. I hope you enjoy. But we do still have a few more minutes, so... if anyone would like to come on and chat, this would be a great time to do so. If anybody mentioned they were going to bug me on a thing anywhere, I did not catch it. I did not see it. I'm quickly checking through places I know some people can reach me to see if anyone tried. Nope, I've got notifications in a few places, but no messages. Alright, that's okay. Let's go. Okay, Mark would love to chat. I will... as I mentioned before, that was weird. Because it's... this size thing is weird. The size thing is weird. Yes, I was starting to say I haven't pinned a link because I don't do open rooms on public streams anymore because there's so fucking many haters and trolls and people who do ridiculous things to try to get the channel taken down. So I will send a link if I know who you are and we have a way to talk outside of chat. Whether it's Discord or some messaging app or whatever the case may be. And also, I do have an email address that's it's publicly available on my website, betterthanember.com, and on my channel description. So even if a person can't reach me directly, there's still a way to reach me directly. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm sending Mark the link, and hopefully this works. Possibly. Oh, goodness. All kinds of adventures. NA says, what's a not-see? It's short for Nationalist Christian. I've been pushing for several months now that we should put the nationalist first, because that's the much higher priority. Most of them don't even give a fuck about Christianity. They just wave the flag to fundraise. But it also lets us shorten the name to that much more correct abbreviation. That's the word I'm looking for. Instead of saying Christian nationalist, we can just call them what they are. a Nazi. Okay, let me shrink this window down so I can get to this window, and we can add a mark, and I have to put myself in there so Mark can hear me inside the room instead of just on the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I could
Hey,
turn my
how you doing?
camera on, but it doesn't work when I'm
Happy
broadcasting.
birthday!
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday! It's so good. Yeah, I had to be here, and I'm sorry. I'm just wearing a hoodie because I'm really cold. I'm like fully cold. So look, I'm
Oh,
Australian, right? I can't do cold.
I've broken everything. What have I done?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You know what? I'll just make the window bigger. That'll solve everything, surely.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. What could possibly go wrong? I'm constantly tinkering with my freaking OBS anyway. Oh, wowzers. Okay, so yeah, despite my invisibleness, it's like, okay, I can turn on the OBS camera while I'm broadcasting. It eats a bit more processor, but you know, it's fine. But then you get to see my screen on my screen, and
Uh-huh.
then you know, every few seconds another iteration appears. Eventually, we'll have an
It
infinite
is.
regress, which is
It
kind of
is
fun.
screenception.
Yeah, yeah. I I
It,
I enjoy that when it happens. When I was
hmm.
little, I used to
Oh,
play
I
with
got no
mirrors.
problem. I got no problem.
Yeah, like when folding mirrors that you could get to face each other. I just turned off the camera
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm gesturing. It's just I talk with my hands. It's fine. Um, but I'd like turn the mirrors to face each other and then try to look between them and get that infinite regress thing. And I, you know, figured out fairly quickly you can't have them exactly dead on, or you won't
Right.
see around your own head. But if they're at too much of an angle, you won't get much of a regress either.
Right.
It just it's a curse. What can you do?
Does it go on to infinity? How do you check?
Yeah, how do you count? How do you determine?
Uh-huh. Who knows? I'm sorry to hear about haters on your channel. I don't have to deal with it. It fucking sucks. Like seriously, that's so bad. I think I've only got one person come on that sort of did something to try and get me demonetized, and I was so fast on them. I actually did really well. I was kind of proud of myself, But yeah, that sucks. I mean, what the hell? And the stupid thing is they're usually Christians or Christians that are doing it, like, oh, that's a very Christian thing to do, of course, like you're saying. It should be nationalists first, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um, or Christo-fascists is the other one I call them, because that's what they are.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The fact that you want a fascist regime that happens to involve a god doesn't change the fact that you're a fascist.
Yeah, I mean, the whole God thing, to paraphrase from the movie Clue, religion is just a red herring. Like, it's never actually been about the religion, that's just a tool to get the power. Like, and in many ways, that's
Yeah,
always been the case, right? Like, you know, they'll say, I, the great prophet, am speaking on behalf of God. You must do as I say,
right.
because only I know what he wants.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a way to get people to do as I say, kind of thing.
I mean, look at Trump. Like, I think I saw somebody go out in the street and ask, what Christian values does he represent? You know what I mean? Like, what value do Christians hold that he has? What, not bearing false witness? No.
Uh, yeah,
Chastity? No. Like, there's no value that they claim to hold that he has.
yeah. I went through a while back. Someone suggested that he'd probably fall short on the 7 deadly sins. So I went
Mhm.
through, and yeah, he fails every single one.
Yep.
Now, I can't prove he's actually murdered someone, but that's why we're going through the 7 deadly sins, not the 10 Commandments.
Right, right.
I got my fan to like stay open. For some reason, I was opening it backwards, and it just didn't work the correct. But now it works the correct direction. So I guess it just
Okay.
needed to be on the show. But now it'll stay. I can just yeah, and then I can do
Oh,
the. It's been so long since I got this to work, but I can do the hand flick thing to open it and close it,
yeah.
which is what I love about
Yeah.
this kind of fan. They're so fun.
Lynn says that the fans are making a comeback. You know,
Yeah.
apparently they're big in the drag world as well. You know, so yeah, I like it.
Yeah, Renaissance Fair too. I can't speak for other fairs, but my local fair, they started doing a thing where
Okay.
a platoon of the ladies, they'd all start carrying these fans, and then there's one or two songs where they'd get together and they'd like, damn it, I can't do it now.
Oh no.
I broke it. Yeah, but they'd like, because it rustles when you deploy it hard, and they'd use that as a musical instrument to keep time in the song. It was pretty neat.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've only seen like a couple of drag shows kind of thing. They were really they're a lot more what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like there was a lot more production to it than I expected, kind of thing. Like I guess, you know, I haven't been to a lot of them, and the one that I went to, it was so fantastically over the top with the production value kind of thing. I don't know what I expected. I think maybe that was just a you know preconception that I had, that it wouldn't be, you know, such a massive production, and it really was. Like I was amazed at the, you know, I was just down at sort of a nightclub kind of thing, and it was actually like full on awesome. Like just so, I highly recommend going to see one if you haven't. Like it is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, like anything else, they can range like from just a quick throw together sort of
Right,
thing,
right. Yeah, yeah,
all the
yeah.
way to like almost Broadway level productions, but they're often a lot
Yeah,
more elaborate than you might expect.
right, right. And that's what I found out. It's like, wow, I expected sort of this dinky thing, and it was like really amazing, you know. Um, yeah, I mean, probably not like Cirque du Soleil or something, but you know, it was still pretty amazing.
I've never seen Cirque du Soleil. I did see a Broadway show traveling though, and I expected that it
Mm,
wouldn't be as good as because I live in the part of the world that I'm on a good traffic day 5 hours from New York City. So I've been to Broadway a
mhm,
couple of times, and I saw a Broadway show on the road, and I was like, okay, it's not going to
mm.
be as ornate or as good because it's on the road. Oh fuck no, it's better because they have more
Right,
space and they can do more
right, right.
things.
Yep, that's incredible. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen Cirque du Soleil once, like I've seen them once, but it was pretty cool actually. Like yeah, really cool. Really expensive though. I probably wouldn't go again, but very like, but I mean it's is mostly circus stuff, and I really do like circus stuff.
Oh, for
Circus
sure.
skills.
Circuses just get cooler. Now, most people think circuses are a little kid thing, and I did think circuses were cool. I mean, I fucking love elephants. Clowns, I didn't really understand, but I love the performers, the acrobats and the jugglers and
Yes.
all the things. And so I loved circuses when I was little. And I guess people think you're supposed to outgrow that because it's a kid thing. But like the older I get, the cooler it becomes. And maybe it's because I understand more of what goes into that kind of variety show level performance that's just set up in traveling mode with people who are just have
Mm,
ridiculously versatile skill sets.
right.
It's so fucking cool.
Have you learned to juggle? I can juggle.
I never really got the hang of it. I could
No, that's fair.
sometimes almost managed three things reliably, but
Yeah.
not really. No.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of we when I was younger, we I did gymnastics, and we sort of have had an agreement. Like these people that did circus skills were there, so they worked as clowns and stuff. And um, we taught them some tumbling and they taught us some circus skills kind of thing. So I learned how to juggle, just 3 balls, nothing major, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool that, like, the gymnasts were like, oh yeah, we'll teach you how to dive, roll, and backflip kind of thing. And that they taught us how to juggle and stuff. And I have really fond memories of that. There was one thing that we did with pins, and I don't look. I could still juggle balls if I even knew where my balls were. Don't clip that. Don't clip that.
No one
Okay.
clip
I'm
that.
No one clipped that. So but we used to have pins, and we had this game called Combat, which was you were juggling pins, and they would sideswipe each other with the pin and try to knock the other ones out of their hand, like not out of their hands, but out of the air kind of thing. So you would basically have this competition to see who was left being able to have all 3 pins going. Really cool stuff, like really cool stuff. But yeah,
Juggle
juggling is
fight.
not as hard as you think it is. Like, it really isn't. It's just when you break it down, it's like 3-ball juggling is actually really simple. It just takes practice. That's all. It's actually a lot simpler than you think it is. Looks amazing, but it is simple.
Yeah, yeah. I got the impression because there's a lot of other things I do that are similar in that they're muscle memory. It's
Mhm.
just practice
Yeah,
to
yeah,
train
yeah.
your muscles to know where to be and what to do, and it's the intuitive physics, I suppose, as opposed to the calculated physics.
No one clips my hair. Well, you know,
What now?
just Jester being Jester. No one clips my hairy balls. Yeah, look, I'm a wax guy. Just saying. Just saying.
Fair enough. I think my chat
But
isn't
thanks,
updating
Jester.
again.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay, there it is. Now I see it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I've got 3 different instances of my chat. There's the copy showing
Oh,
up on screen. There's the copy
yeah.
where I can highlight things because that's a separate window. And then there's the
Mhm.
copy appearing in OBS. None of them are updating. It's fine. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It might be fine. It could. It's a sign. The algorithm is taking action, or I don't know. I'm just here.
Mm.
I'm
You are
shedding.
here. I'm so glad you're here. I am so glad you're here. Look, you are one of my best mates, and you are amazing. You are awesome, and I love you.
Oh, thank you. You're also
You're
one of my favorite
welcome.
humans. And I mean, you're aware there's a lot of people in this community who have problems with other people in this community. And I suppose
Mhm.
that's inevitable. I mean, like I mentioned earlier,
Yes.
there's a lot of people who have a problem with me, and I'm very glad
Right.
for all the people who are here because they want to be
Mm.
here. I
Right.
appreciate that. But like, I forget where I was going with that. Um,
Some people have problems with other people in the community, and
right, yeah, like
people are here.
there's no way that we could have a group where everyone likes everyone. It's just not
Right. Right.
viable with humans.
Mm.
The trick, I think, is being adult and like sticking to the priorities. Like, by no means should anybody have to spend time with a person they don't like, they don't enjoy,
Right.
whatever the case may
Right.
be. But when
Yeah.
we have common cause, instead of trying to stab each other in the back because we don't like someone, maybe just
Mhm.
leave each other the fuck alone, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
a vague reference to a few specific individuals that I don't care to name because I don't want to cause additional problems.
Well, exactly, exactly. I more see it as like a workplace, right? Like, if you've worked, you know what I'm talking about. There's people you don't get along with, but you don't go out of your way to disrupt their work or do anything nasty to them. You just don't socially interact with them. But if you've got a job to do and you have to interact with them, you just be professional about it, right? Like, you just get the work done. So that's how I sort of take it, that if somebody I don't like is on YouTube, well, they can do their work, I'll do my work. If I have to interact with them, fine, but I won't go out of my way to interact with them, and that's all. Like, it's kind of just, having that understanding that you don't have to get along with everybody, but there's no reason just because you don't like someone to disrupt what they're doing. If they're doing something wrong, then yeah, I totally get it. Like I totally understand, and absolutely. If they're being a bigot or promoting something that's horrible, yeah, time to interrupt what they're doing. But just because you don't like someone, look, let them go their way. You go your way. If you have to interact, fine. If you don't, yeah, that's cool too. I don't know. I get what you're saying though, Ember. I get what you're saying, and I'm not trying to cause drama either. I'm just giving my opinion because I don't have any other opinion to give, unfortunately.
That does seem to be. Now I'm just there's always a part of my brain that's trying to be contrary. Part of my mind is like, how can I find a way that statement is either true but in an unexpected way, or wrong but in an unexpected way, or something like that. And so
Okay.
I'm just
Okay.
like,
Oh,
is
prove me
there a
wrong. I don't
legitimate way
mind.
for
Go
a
for it.
person to have multiple sincere opinions?
Uh, uh,
I mean,
I,
there's
I don't
sometimes
know.
when
I
I
think.
feel ambivalent about things. Like, that's not to say
Oh, sure.
undecided. I often feel
Yeah.
strongly in both directions.
Well, I think that it's fine to have like your opinions will fluctuate and go from one to the other. I think that's fine, but I think that sort of holding two conflicting opinions at once is kind of like cognitive dissonance. It's possible, but it's not comfortable for people. I honestly think that that's one of the strengths of atheists, like to do that cognitive dissonance about a god and about religion kind of thing. I really do.
Yeah, we see that a lot with some of the more progressive Christians who believe
Yes.
in evolution, but also believe in original sin, even though those
Mhm.
things don't play nice with each other.
Oh, even the fundamentalists who, do horrible things, but think that, a God does horrible things, but and wants me to do horrible things, but he is a good God. It's weird. It's such a weird thing to me anyway. Maybe
Yeah,
somebody
he
understands it
is
somewhere.
love. He is all moral, but also smash the babies on the rocks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, what? What?
You know,
Native
he's
atheist
moral
asks.
and
Oh, first,
knows.
start with Lilith.
Yeah,
Says
sure.
happy Embermas. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Native atheist asks, "What's in store for BSS?" So, as I've mentioned, I'll be there. Tapioca Weasel, I think it should be there probably. The actual guest is Sinister Porpoise, and the
Mhm.
topic is math, therefore God.
Oh, no.
What could possibly go wrong?
That sounds like a logical entailment. Oh,
I
dear.
mean, we've actually addressed that one before when Bill Craig tried to convert the Kalam into a math, therefore God syllogism.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we did a
Oh,
video about
no.
that, and it hurt my head, but it was kind of amusing ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deviant Outcast is here saying hooray
Deviant?
and a bunch of things, and yay. Thank you, Deviant. It's good to see you. We're only here for a few more minutes because I do need to take a break between shows, but I am glad you
Yeah,
made
that's
it.
fair.
Yeah.
That's 100% fair.
Oh, for sure. Like I said earlier, I've done really, really long shows all the way through before with no breaks, and it's not ideal.
Yeah,
I
I
actually
don't
did
think I could
prep a
do that.
commercial this
I
time, though,
honestly don't think so.
so I could take a break
You
if I
did a what?
had to. But
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah, I shall save it for future use though, because we're getting there. And I mean,
Mhm.
I could play it more than once, but also, even though it passed copyright checks, I worry because sometimes things that are
Yeah.
uploaded will pass just fine, but as soon as you put them on a live stream, suddenly the bots take issue, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you, but, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this stream, for example, even though it's showing as excellent right now, I'm certain within minutes of going off the air, it's going to be demonetized because the song I'm using, it's licensed, and I have the license linked in the description,
Mhm.
but because it's not a free-to-use song, it's a licensed song,
Right.
it's gonna get turned off, and then I'll have to submit a thing and say, "Look, here's the license," and then they'll turn it back on. But not until, it'll be off for however long in between. That reminds me of another
Yep.
thing, from the video earlier, the situation with my work thing. I found out since I recorded that the State Department of Human Rights averages responding to complaints in 285 days.
Whoa. A year. Like,
Almost.
yeah,
And
almost a year. Yeah, yeah.
and it gets better. Guess what the statute of limitations for taking action on workplace discrimination is?
Less than that?
Almost. It's 300 days. So from
Whoa.
if they get you, if they reply at the average, if they're not later than average on your case, you have 2 freaking weeks to take action based on it, or you lose the chance
Can you
permanently.
can you submit something to say that they've been delayed kind of thing? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. That's so screwed.
It is. It's almost like it's on purpose or something.
Yeah.
But far be it from me to suggest that the powers that be have arranged the bureaucracy in such a way that it makes it virtually impossible to enforce equal opportunity employment laws against major corporations. No, that would be silly. Now, I don't actually
Doesn't
have to
sound
wait
silly.
for the state to file legal action, but if I do take legal action before the state replies with their investigation or their findings or whatever, then I potentially jeopardize being able to use the state's findings. So if I can find a lawyer, I can take action on my own. But
But, yeah,
so
that's
far,
very
no
expensive.
luck, you know? I
Yeah, and
literally,
yeah.
like, there's, Josie Caballero, who appears on the Transatlantic Call-In show from time to time. She said a thing a few weeks ago. She said, there's all these organizations that exist specifically to fight to defend your civil liberties, some of them specifically as a trans person. So
Mhm.
when you're wronged, contact these organizations. And I reached out to her. I'm
Yeah.
like, Josie, I hate to be that person, but you're spreading talking points that aren't actually true. Like, I have
Right.
contacted these organizations, and they have all
Mhm.
responded, those that responded at all, saying we only take cases that will go to the Supreme Court because we need the headlines to fundraise. So your case isn't fancy enough or won't get enough headlines, and so it's not in
Right.
our interest to take the case. I'm like, they don't defend civil rights. They grab cases that will generate headlines to generate money. It's just another business. That's all it is. It's got a specific niche. They can put the "For Great Justice" banner on it, but it's still just a business,
Mhm.
and it won't serve certain customers.
Well, even organizations that are non-profit need money to keep surviving. It's just it's the horrible thing of capitalism kind of thing, which is awful.
Yeah, it really, really is. But it's disillusioning having people out there saying, "Oh, we've got these social safety nets, these organizations that will fight for you, so don't worry," when they will not fight for you. That's not actually what they're there to do. They bill themselves as that's what they're there to do, but that's not actually what they do. And it's infuriating, but it makes you feel
Yep.
lost and hopeless because it's like I was told there'd be these resources if I need them, and then when I need them, they're not there. They just
Right.
poof vaporize into the dust. But so Josie told me, okay, well, go to this one website and there's like an attorney finder and try to find an attorney and whatever. So I went through and it brought up this database. It's like the North American lawyer registry or something. I forget what the initials were, but
Right.
it's got search options. So I searched for New York State and employment law and LGBT. And I got one result. In the entire state of New York, where New York City lives, there is exactly
Wow.
one attorney who deals with workplace discrimination and LGBT issues. The two. Holy shit. So I contacted that attorney. He's based in Manhattan, New York City, which is about 5 hours from me on a good driving day. And I said, I realize you're really, really far away, but you're literally the only lawyer in the National Bar's database who could take my case. And
Right.
here's the situation. And he responded back and he's like, really sorry, can't take your case. You are too far away. However, maybe go back to the database and look for an employment lawyer who doesn't specialize in LGBT issues, just does workplace issues.
Right. Okay.
Maybe.
Is that
I don't know.
possible?
I haven't had any luck yet, but at least he answered. So there's that.
Yeah,
Deviant says,
that's true.
Ember's looking pretty delish today. Love the hair, love the flowers. Thank you, Deviant.
There you go.
I've been looking forward to purple hair. Holy shit. I can't believe I forgot I had this. Like, how does that happen? It's my favorite fucking color. And it was just right over here under some boxes. But yay, thank you. Oh, goodness. Titan says we could make Ember's case bigger. There are ways. Maybe I'm not sure what that means. I don't know. It's probably fine. I don't know. To me, the fact that I'm having such a hard time finding representation is itself part of the case. You know?
Right. That's significant, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm at least as far as fundraising and all that stuff goes, like, oh my god. Trans people can't even get a fair trial in court because they can't even get into court.
Yeah.
Curses and vexation and things. Oh well. I mean, not oh well, but, you know. At this juncture, what else can a person say? I just try to be as open about it as I can, or as I feel relatively safe doing. And maybe, I don't know, a few people that I know IRL were like, let us call the local news. Let us call ABC or CBS or whatever. And I'm like, first of all, I don't want literally everyone in the universe to know who I am and what the problem is and make fun of me or send death threats or actually try to attack me again. But also, I've dealt with the local news for various reasons over the years, and they're a little vulture-y. But most importantly, I don't want to be locally famous for being a victim. You know? Like, of all the things in my life that I could be renowned for in my region, getting pushed out of my job because of the kind of person I am is the bottom of the list. You know?
Right. Yeah, I think that, but it's kind of, you shouldn't be put in the position where you have to have some kind of publicity case in order to get fair legal representation. That should be something you get by default. You should be able to have representation just by default, regardless of who you are. Like, and I know that that doesn't in any way help you. It's just, I'm just really pissed off at the American system. The government should be on your side. Like, that's the thing. It should have protections for everybody that are the same, not just, cis white men.
It's pretty damn broken. But on the plus side, Anarchic Fox is here. dropping by to say happy birthday, Ember. May you remain unscented. So far, so good. Although I won't be able to do my walk today because long show here, long show over at Maya's in a little bit. I couldn't do my walk yesterday. I'm missing a few. I feel bad about it. But on the plus side, I remain unscented.
Well, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. It happens. We do our best. It happens. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's totally
it's
fine.
I think the skunk may actually so the scent thing is there's a skunk that lives in the neighborhood, and no matter where I
Oh,
walk, I inevitably cross paths with the skunk at some point in my travels. And most days it just ignores me. But sometimes
okay.
we've gotten kind of close and the skunk gets startled. I think it may be getting used to me. Now, in one of the reasons I always carry my phone on my walk is partly so I can call for help immediately if I need it. That's just a safety thing.
Mhm.
But I also
Yeah.
keep a stream on so that there's always voices talking to warn the skunk of my impending arrival. It hears human voices getting closer, so it won't be startled.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it seems to only really work with male voices. It's like one of the Bad Signs Sundays. I forget if it was this week or last week. Or no, last week or the week before. You know what I mean. Um, Maya was doing an extended rant when I happened to chance across the skunk, and Maya's voice did not startle the skunk. So
Oh, no.
I was distracted I was actually watching the stream while I was walking, and the skunk didn't respond to Maya's voice, and so we didn't notice each other until we were like 10 feet apart, and we both almost jumped out of our socks.
Even the skunk's in on the patriarchy. It's probably just like the wavelength, the skunk's hearing wavelength, Like there's a
Could be.
sound that young people can hear and old people can't, which is just astounding as you lose like frequency on your hearing as you get older, which I find incredible.
Yeah, I've got a lot of frequencies like that. As you know, we've been doing a morning show with some of the girls while Chris is away, and the one on Friday, I set an alarm clock to make sure I could wake up on time, and
Mhm.
and I actually set several alarms to make sure that I'd be up with enough time to get ready and whatnot.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the alarm. It was
Oh.
the phone vibrating
Oh.
that woke me up. And I'm like, what the hell is shaking my bed? And I look up and I see the alarms going off, but I couldn't hear not I mean it's not one frequency. It like does that thing where it goes up and then back down and then up and then back down, to
Right.
maximum. I couldn't hear a damn bit of it. My hearing is
Wow.
quickly deteriorating. This is not great. Hopefully I'll get some of it back if my ears ever heal, but fuck.
Hopefully. Dang.
I mean, as it is right now, I still can't use any kind of headphone or earbud because the ears themselves react very poorly to it. But I
Mhm.
have to, so I have to use an external speaker, and I have to have it loud enough that I can hear it, but quiet
Mhm.
enough that my microphone won't pick it up. So I've had to do tricks with my noise gate and it just it's rough. And it's getting rougher, but we're trying by far. So far, those were supposed to be words. Different words, better words. I have the best
Better
words.
words.
Yes.
Don't even. Ah,
I've been
fuck that
talking too
man.
long. Oh my goodness.
That's okay. That's all right. I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
I find it hard. Like, part of me is like, just a couple years ago, you did a 12-hour show with no breaks. In fairness to me, I had a lot of people on that show for most of it. The majority of it was a panel show. But also, like, I don't know. It's just, it seems really, really hard to just go and go and go and keep going. I remember it being hard then. The only way I got through it
Mhm.
was because the chat kept lying to me. They were like, hey, Are you going to go for so and so's record? You're 56 minutes away. You've been going for 4 hours. Why not go for 5 and break the record? And then we'd do
Oh
that. And then
no!
they'd be like,
Don't.
"Oh, well, this
Why do you
person has a
listen to
record
the
at 6
chat?
hours."
Don't
Yeah,
listen to the chat.
I
Seriously.
know.
I mean, I love you, chat, but you sometimes don't have the best intentions. I will say that. I will
Yeah,
say that.
they just kited me all the way up to 12 hours. The only
There
reason
you
we
go.
stopped at 12 is because YouTube cut it off at 12 at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, there was that
apparently.
story I read recently about a streamer that died on stream. Did you see that? That was worrying. A guy in France, he was bullied by these other streamers kind of thing, and he died
Oof.
on stream. It was so sad. Yeah, no, it was really sad. So, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that.
Like I said, when I did the 12-hour thing, I got through it, but it hurt the next day. My lower back
Yeah, I
was
can
just
imagine.
not having any of it. I'm like, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're not doing that again. Not without breaks anyway.
Mm.
Maybe if I could do
Yeah.
like, a thing with multiple people, so if one person steps away for a few minutes, it doesn't actually disrupt the show or something like that. Something like that might
Yeah.
work. Um,
Yeah,
Katina's
but
here.
work-life balance
Hello,
is
Katina.
important, and I really feel sorry for that French guy. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awful.
And Arkic says we are monsters. Victoria says we are always funny though.
That is true. I won't lie. That is always funny, just not necessarily in the best interests of the streamer. I will say that.
Yeah. Bree's here. Hello, Bree.
I agree.
Bree's another one of the co-stars on the we need a better name.
Transposition.
We've changed the name so many times. It was like When Women Talk, and at the moment it was what Java and Jugs, or Jugs and Java, depending on which channel you're tuning into, and most recently it was Skeptits. I was able to get that for a channel name.
Wow.
So maybe that'll become our permanent home. I don't know for sure yet. We're going to talk about it actually on Monday morning, because somebody proposed that getting audience feedback might be a good idea. So yeah, we're going to discuss it on the show on Monday. What we should
Yeah,
do
cool.
with the show. It should be fun.
I'm trying
yeah.
to think of something. I don't know. Skeptic sounds like a nudie bar, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. Look,
Unholy
it's
Hooters?
obviously your choice.
Oh my goodness. I'm incorrigible. They love me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna, even though Bree just got here. Hello, Bree. Always good to see you. But I think I'm gonna wrap up here, so there's
Okay.
time between shows. But yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
coming
no
and chatting
problem.
with me on my birthday.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted me on earlier. I just there wasn't a link, so I just went, okay. I'm happy to listen to Ems. It's your day. You do whatever you want. Don't let me tell you what to do. Absolutely not. This
Yeah,
is
it's
Ember's
okay.
day.
Like I said, I wasn't
Oh, good.
like formally prepared. I had like a
Right.
rough idea of like I wanted to look at presents, and I wanted to talk about the
Ah.
past year, and I wanted to I
You
didn't
had a
want to show
concept
that
of a
video,
plan.
but I wanted to show that video, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do want to commend you for being open and honest and genuine. That's really rough to do, and being vulnerable is really hard. And I really admire you for it. But you had the concept of a plan, and that's
Oh
what's
no.
not important. Like, that's not really anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I also know I can improvise. Like, I can
That's
literally
true.
improvise infinitely. It's just a matter of
Uh,
like,
And unlike a certain president, you can improvise good things, not just bad things.
that helps. That helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jasper's here. Hello, says you guys
Hi,
rock.
Jasper.
Happy birthday. And there's an emoji that looks like a person with long cyan hair, light blue hair. I should try
Yeah.
that sometime. I mean, the only reason I have this is because I bought it for like last Halloween and then forgot I had it. Like I cannot afford even cheap wigs right now. I've
Oh, I gotta
always
start
been
thinking
very
about
poor.
Halloween too.
Right. But like with
Yeah.
effectively no income, I am stupid poor. But I did find it. I'm glad I have it because it's long hair and it's purple and I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Even though it's tangly as hell and I
Awesome.
have no idea how to style a wig.
Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah, Jester says, "Hey,
As long as you're
Ember."
happy.
Hey, Jester. Secret Lord of Shenaniganery.
I think Jester abdicated, so,
That's what I
gave up the old
assumed
lordship.
too, but then Jester
Yeah.
was calling
Yeah.
me a liar in chat yesterday, and I'm
Oh,
like,
wow, okay.
okay,
That's a
so
bit harsh,
clearly I'm
but okay.
mistaken. Apparently, the shenaniganery thing is a secret now. It's
Oh,
not
is it like
public knowledge.
have we got like a Batman situation on our hands here? By
Perhaps,
day,
perhaps.
Jester, by night, Lord of Shenanigans.
Jester says lies, and also gifted 10 Ember ships. Oh, it's not a secret.
Thank
It's
you
not a
so much.
secret. I see.
It's not a
But
secret.
yay,
Okay, so it's
10
not a
Ember
Batman
ships.
situation.
Yeah, and
Gotcha,
I see
gotcha.
some cool names. Those went to Jasper, Leo,
Ooh,
Kalasia,
yeah.
Yahooligan, aka Justin, who was just on his very first ACA show. I think it was Truth Wanted, just a couple of days ago. So he's
Oh, cool.
big chuffed about that.
Yeah.
Roman Weber, Pinworm, L Trucker, Nikki Paray, Polly has his cracker. Okay, I deciphered it. Polly has his cracker, and you're Victoria. Cool. Excellent, excellent. And enjoy all the fun custom emojis and other many perks. This is just an assortment. But yeah, thank you, Jester. Jester also says, I explained it to you on your stream. So how you don't know is beyond me. There's an important piece of information you might be forgetting. My brain is made of meat.
There you go.
And it doesn't always perform up to spec.
My meat computer, not the greatest.
Who designed, let's make a computer, but make it out of meat?
Yeah. Good one, God.
Yeah. Super job. But I am going to
Yeah.
wrap up here so I can
Okay.
step away for a moment and be ready for a big old Bad Science Sunday showdown with math, apparently. But thank you all so much for coming.
Apparently
Mark,
not.
thank you for
Thanks
coming
for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's been...
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yay. I know you had to get up early to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, 6 a.m. I was a little bit late. I was like, it's so cold outside. That sort of, you're in a warm bed and like, it's so cold. So that's why I'm wearing the hoodie.
Yeah, hoodies are good. All right.
Good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I appreciate all you folks being here. I appreciate all the people who sent super chats and memberships, and there's a bunch. Holy crap. There's shoot, I can't get it to line up the way I want it so I can see it better. Well, yeah, we'll just go with it. So as always, remember, you can live your life and be happy and be better than Ember. Good night.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine bright. I could.